season officially underway around a lot of the WPIAL. It seems like every year more and more teams kicking off at 7 o'clock. We have a 7:30 kickoff here tonight. The top team in Quad A, the Central Catholic Vikings, on the road to take on a non-conference rival in the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Hello again, everyone. Alongside Steve Nagler, I'm Sam Hall. Happy first Friday. No one is more excited about the first week of WPIAL football than Steve Nagler and Sam Hall. I can tell you that for certain.
It is a lot of fun. You can feel the excitement, and as it almost always is, Sam, very hot here tonight. Mid to upper 80s in terms of temperatures. A great crowd here at Bethel Park Stadium, but as it always seems to be in the first week or two, the trainers might be some of the most important folks on the football field today.
It will be a mandatory refreshment, I'm sure, several times throughout the evening. It is very, very hot and kind of humid here on the first Friday in September 2015. We have a Central Catholic team loaded with Division I talent for 11th year head coach Terry Totten. 118 wins, 18 losses in his career. 2007 WPIAL and PIAA championship for Coach Totten. He was a defensive coordinator before that for the Central Catholic Vikings. He's very defensive-minded, and his teams have played really outstanding defensive football over the years.
11-2 in 2014. They lose to Pine Richland in the WPIAL championship game. They've been there the last 2 years. They're hoping to get back. But, yes, this is a very defensive-driven team. They are so tough to gain yardage against, and it really starts up front on this defensive line, led by Rashad Wheeler. But the foursome of Wheeler, Thorpe, Stevens, and Heinisch, they are very strong. They are not there just to eat up blockers and let their back seven do the work. They like to use their strength and athleticism to get up the field and tackle ball carriers in the backfield, creating second and third and long situations. When you look at the linebackers, David Adams, Chase Hawthorne, Ron George, Tim Terry, they're all excellent defensive players. Many of the four looking at D1 colleges, and then maybe the best defensive secondary in the WPIL, led by DeMar Hamlin and Bryson Garner.
They have been fantastic, and last year in a 41-0 win over Bethel at Carnegie Mellon University, we saw that defense really be the difference in the football game, forcing turnovers early on. And really, Levi Matheny all year long took such great care of the football. He threw 2 interceptions in that game, and that front four really was the difference in that 41-0 win.
They really were. They left their offense in extremely short field situations. I believe they had 2 drives of less than 10 yards in that football game because of turnovers. They are terrific football players on the defensive side.
Jeff Matheny, meanwhile, in his 22nd year at the helm of the Bethel Park Blackhawks, 138 wins, 89 losses. 2008 WPIAL champions were the Hawks, and they were a football team with Levi Matheny, Jeff's son, in his 4th year as a starter quarterback, left-handed quarterback. They lost some big-time talent in the linebacking core and the running back positions with the loss of fullback Connor McGinnis and tailback Alex Minton last year. But up front, and with Matheny, this is a Bethel Park club that comes into 2015, Steve, with very high expectations.
Without a doubt, and they should. When you have a 4th-year quarterback, and Levi Matheny is a big, strong, very durable kid. He can run it. He can throw it. Completed 57% of his passes last year in his junior year for nearly 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. But he's also got the benefit of playing quarterback behind a very experienced and strong returning offensive line group. They start 4 seniors and a sophomore in front of Levi Matheny. They lost a very good running back, Alex Minton, to graduation, but they have high hopes in Teron Murphy. He takes over for Alex Minton as the lead back here in the Bethel Park offense. Only got 23 carries last year, but gained 275 yards, nearly 12 yards per time that he carried the football. So he's going to get the brunt of the load here today and this season, and he's going to be looking to run behind all-conference lineman Chris Pauley.
Yeah, and I think we'll see Matheny run the football maybe a little bit more this year. Didn't run it a lot last year. Did run it quite a bit as a freshman when he first took over. Left-handed, This kid is big. He is strong. He will stick his nose anywhere. And witness the fact that he's one of the best linebackers in the WPIAL as a starting quarterback.
Even young, when he played as a freshman and a sophomore, he's a guy that reminded me a lot of Tim Tebow. Not just because he throws the ball left-handed, but he has that big, strong, very sturdy build. And you talked about his want to. He's a guy that will not shy away from contact. We
mentioned Murphy going to get a lot of touches. I think also we'll see Charlie Davis and Jake Dixon be a big part of this offense for Jeff Matheny this year. Dixon, the big tight end, he just is a very athletic kid. We saw him make a bunch of big catches last year. We did a number of Hawks games. And Charlie Davis, one of those kids, you put the ball in his hands anywhere on the football field, he's capable of taking it.
Yeah, they're both very good offensive players, but they're great on the opposite side of the football as well. Jake Dixon is an outside linebacker. He's a guy that likes to get up the football field. Charlie Davis, one of the cornerbacks for this defense for Jeff Matheny as well. So both these teams are loaded with talent. Both seem to be, I think, going to be very competitive in their respective conferences. We'll see. And what I'm looking forward to seeing here tonight, Sam, is how has Bethel Park matured from week 1 last year?
Yeah.
Because it was not a pretty night for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. And while they had high hopes for that offensive line, they were all a year younger, and they were really dominated by the defensive front and the front seven of Central Catholic. If they're able to control the line of scrimmage better here tonight, they stand a chance of giving Central Catholic a very strong game.
They do, because although the score was 41-0 in that football game last year, keep in mind Bethel Park's defense last year in a 41-0 loss held Central Catholic to under 100 total yards in that football game. Really a remarkable stat when you think about it, 41-0, and you held the other team to under 100 yards of total offense. We're going to take a break, come back, get you set with the starting kickoff. Week 1 is here. WPIAL football only on the Management Science Associates Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium alongside Steve Nagler. Happy Friday night, everybody. Week 1 set to get underway here. Central Catholic wins the toss, and they will get the football to start this contest on the road against the Bethel Park Blackhawks. And the starting offense for the Central Catholic Vikings. We turn it over to our man in the booth, Steve Nagler.
Well, we think it's going to be Michael Navarro, the senior quarterback. He had a pretty good year last year. Just really, this is not an offense that threw the ball a lot last year. They relied on a strong defense and a very strong running game behind Johnny Patrician. But Navarro will have to probably throw it a little bit more this year. Navarro is senior. He will be in the backfield with Vinny Emanuel and Ron George. The tight end will be David Adams. The wide receivers will be Gunnar Farrat and Jacob McKee. And that offensive line from left to right, the tackle, left tackle C.J. Thorpe, left guard Jermaine Stevens. Donovan Slater is the center. Jacob Heinisch on the right side with his brother Kurt Heinisch. Jacob is the guard, and Kurt is the tackle.
We expect they're actually cousins, the Heinisches. And I expect to see a lot of touches for Ronnie Jones as well. You saw him running the football last year. They slide him over to wide out this year. It'll be interesting to see how many touches he gets. He's back deep to receive this opening kickoff.
Interesting, Sam. Bethel Park actually won the toss and deferred. So I think that's a pretty good move by the Bethel Park Blackhawks, because I figure
Get on defense.
Maybe gain a little bit of momentum here tonight by putting your defense out first and see if you can give your offense and Levi Matheny and company a nice starting field position.
Halligan on the run-up, sends it deep, taken at the 11-yard line by Bryson Garner. Garner goes to the far hash, turns it upfield out over the 20, 25, 30, all the way out to the 35. Flag comes in on the play, and it came from the 50 all the way down to the 33-yard line. There's a hat on the field of a Bethel Park Blackhawk. And the officials will talk this over.
Yeah, it's going to be going against the Vikings as they're going to call a block that was levied by Callan Adamitis on a defenseless Bethel Park Blackhawk, and so a 15-yard personal foul penalty to start this game off.
And that was a good 20-yard toss from the back judge there, Steve, coming in behind the play. He threw that from the Bethel 48 all the way down to the Central Catholic 32. They'll march the penalty off all the way back inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Football on the far hash for the Vikings. 1st and 10, 3 receivers to the near boundary. And a sidecar, 1 receiver far side. On 1st and 10, they want to throw. Pump fake. Now rolling to the near boundary. Inside the 10 and firing near side. Trying to get it out there to Gunnar Farrat. A little too tall for Farrat, as Troy Fisher, the sophomore, is the starting quarterback. We get a little mix up here. Navarro not out there. Fisher incomplete on 1st and 10. Set up a 2nd and 10 from the 17.
This is a big spot for the sophomore. I wasn't sure, per head coach Terry Totten, who was going to get the start. He goes with Troy Fisher.
6'4", 200-pound sophomore. He's got a sidecar in Emmanuel. Now he'll move him over to his right. 2nd and 10 from the 17. Hand off to Emmanuel. We'll try that left side. Try to bounce it outside. Spins up near the 20. But he's not going to quite get to the 20 as he's dragged down after a very short gain of 2. Zach Taylor credited with the tackle. Also there defensively, James Gameter.
Oh, he didn't make the tackle, but Charlie Davis was very active on that play, coming in from his safety position. Made a nice, his cornerback position. Made a nice move up the field.
Vikings go no huddle. Emmanuel the sidecar for Fisher on 3rd and 8. Wants to throw. A little backside screen here. Emmanuel takes it and stumbles out over the 25, but going to be shy of that lead stick as he gets to the 26-yard line. Christian Frazier on the tackle for Bethel Park.
A really nice play call there as Terry Totten had 3 wide receivers set out to the right side and threw a back screen to the left side. And fortunately, Bethel Park still had enough defenders on that side of the football field to make the play.
Benny DiSabato on the punt for Central Catholic. They go 3 and out. Snap is good. And the kick almost blocked off the far edge, but it'll take a bounce at the Bethel Park 47, goes sideways to the 46, and great field position for Bethel Park on their opening drive of the contest. 1st and 10 at their own 46. Steve, you talked about the decision by Jeff Matheny. Wins the toss, defers, and it's paid off early on.
Let's take a look at Bethel Park offensively. In the backfield, it'll be Levi Matheny, the quarterback. He'll be flanked by Teron Murphy and Brandon Johnson as running backs. Wide receivers, Charlie Davis and Chandler Dietz. Jacob Dixon, the outstanding tight end, will be one of Levi Matheny's primary targets. The offensive line, James Gemiter, Joseph Dietz, Josh Sosnak, Chris Pauly, and Sean Davis.
3 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. Matheny in the gun. Murphy the sidecar and a little bit behind him as well on 1st and 10 from the 46. Now they'll motion Dixon to the far boundary. Now Dixon will crab walk back to the near. Matheny takes the handoff, trying to keep it himself on the read. He's going to be dropped for a loss all the way back to the 40-yard line by Ronnie George. And again, that Central Catholic front 7 early on all over Levi Matheny. They'll mark him down at the 41. A loss of 5 sets up a 2nd and 15.
This is not a defense that you want to run a lot of counter plays. You don't want to run a lot of east to west type of running plays because they are so quick up the line of scrimmage. That time it was Ron George coming in from his outside linebacker position to put Levi Matheny on the floor.
Todd to the near boundary. Davis to the far, along with Dietz. Murphy to the left of Matheny on 2nd and 15 from the 41. Give it to Murphy. Murphy bounces it outside, turns the corner into Central Catholic territory. And Taryn Murphy is going to get a first down, but a flag back at the Bethel Park 47-yard line. Maybe coming back here. That's in that area we expected to be holding.
Yeah, a couple of flags thrown, and that will be a heartbreaker for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Great run by Taryn Murphy. Illegal use of the hands, 3 yards down, or actually about 6 yards down the football field from the previous line of scrimmage. They'll walk it back from there, but that will nullify a 16-yard gain off of right tackle.
Perfect
Good run.
read that time by Matheny on the read option. Able to get that ball to Murphy, turn the corner. And, Steve, really our first good look at him. He can turn the Jets up.
Ooh. A lot of speed, but the Blackhawks in a spot where you don't want to be against this Central Catholic defense. 2nd and 18 from their own 37.
Behind the sticks, football on the far hash. The Blackhawks, I should say, working from right to left. Matheny back in the gun, 2 receivers near, and he'll look to throw. Quick hitter to Dixon over the middle. Makes the catch out over the 40 to the 44-yard line. Dropped immediately on the play by David Adams for the Central Catholic Vikings, but a little more manageable now. 3rd and long, let's call it 3rd and 12 out at the 44.
Oh, Matheny didn't have a whole lot of room to fit that ball in. A good play by David Adams. Good coverage on Jacob Dixon, and he hit the tight end as soon as he made the catch.
3rd and a long 11 for the Hawks. Football right between the hashes. And now 2 backs in the backfield with Matheny. 2 receivers to the near boundary. Davis wide to the near side. And they'll motion Murphy to the near boundary as well. Matheny takes the snap, rolls near side. Steps up, fires downfield. He's got Davis behind everybody. But he threw it wide of his mark. Davis got spun around inside the 20 at the 18. Unable to make the catch. Bryson Garner there defensively. But Charlie Davis had beaten the Central Catholic Viking secondary.
Yeah, Bryson Garner, I think, was caught off guard a little bit. He saw Matheny kind of rolling out to his left, and I think he just kind of got caught watching him, and as a result, Davis got behind him, but couldn't secure the footwork to bring the football down.
Matheny punts it away, and he booms this one over the head of Bryson Garner. It'll bounce at the 10. Big high bounce, and Murphy got there, but unable to keep his feet off the ground. He runs through the end zone, and it's a touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Central Catholic Vikings. A chance there for the Hawks to pin them deep, Steve.
Yeah, that was a really good punt by Levi Matheny, who punted it past the 2 receiving backs and got a good bounce. The final bounce kind of went up in the air, but Teron Murphy just couldn't get under it in time.
So 1st and 10 for Central Catholic. Start at their own 20-yard line. Scoreless football game. 8:22 to play here in the opening quarter. Straight out over the football come the Vikings. With the sophomore quarterback Fisher. Sidecar Emmanuel. 3 receivers to the near boundary, including that big tight end Rashad Wheeler. Take it to Emmanuel, and Fisher will keep it himself, go straight ahead. He got over the 20 to about the 22. This is a very physical football game. Chris Pauley there on the tackle, as well as James Gameter for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Let's give Fisher 2, set up a 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Fisher is more of a pro-style quarterback. He's tall. He's on the roster is 6 foot 4 inches tall, 200 pounds, but he can run as well and very athletic.
All those receivers now, 3 to the far boundary, Garner to the near boundary. Emmanuel the sidecar, and now they'll motion Garner back toward the formation. On 2nd and 8, running Fisher keeping himself. Quarterback keeper to the far boundary, tripped up. Dixon strings it out and then gets some help from that defensive secondary. Coming up to make the tackle, Zach Taylor. And he'll trip up Fisher after a very short gain, maybe 1 more yard, set up a 3rd down and 7 from the 23. Nice job by Dixon to string it out on that far edge.
Looked like the 22-yard line got Troy Fisher that time. As, he was trying to turn the corner, just spun his wheels and went down.
Neither team with a first down in this football game. Fisher back in the gun. on 3rd and 7. Motions for Rott. And prior to the snap, whistles and flags. And this just has the feel of a penalty coming up against the offensive team here. Dead ball foul. False start against Central Catholic with 7:04 to play. And the Vikings pick up their first penalty of the football game, and it's been kind of a feel of a first week of the 2015 WPIAL season.
So far, in what we've seen in the first 5 minutes of play is what we expected to see. Strong defense. This game will be dominated by the defensive side of both these teams.
Wheeler, Garner, and Farad all to the near boundary on 3rd and now 12. Football marked back at the 18-yard line. Plenty of time for Fisher, looking deep down the far sideline. Has a man out there as he tried to work that football off to Jake McGee. Good defense on the play by the secondary of Bethel Park and Zach Taylor. Man-to-man all the way down that far sideline. Flag way back in the backfield at the 15-yard line. Personal foul against Central Catholic. Second personal foul call against the Vikings here tonight early on.
We'll see if this is a
after the play.
After the play, they might lose 3rd down, and although it looks like they're giving Jeff Matheny the opportunity to accept or decline it, which would lead you to believe that it's not post-possession, so, or I should say post-play.
He will decline it. And so the Vikings will punt it away one more time. A pair of 3 and outs. And again, that Hawk defense doing a nice job here early on against the number 1 team in the WPIAL, number 22 team in the nation by several publications. And the Vikes get set to punt it away again. Davis to the near. And they kick a high, wobbly one. Fair catch called for, but they'll back away and let it bounce at the midfield stripe. Takes a Central Catholic bounce, and then it's down by Callan Adamitis. Right at the 45-yard line. Second possession for Bethel Park at another good spot.
Normally you think of punts, Sam, as negative things. In this game, punting is not necessarily a bad option because really what you want to stay away from as far as both offenses are concerned is the turnover. If you can nullify turnovers, gain yardage when you can, you know, if you're looking for getting into some continuity, but it's not going to be easy because both of these defenses we've talked about are very strong, and you figure early on in the year defenses are probably going to be ahead of offenses anyway.
Frazier in there in fullback. This is the first real look we've seen at just a straight eye formation for Bethel Park. Matheny under center for the first time tonight on 1st and 10 from his own 45. Barks out the signal. Receiver to the near side, one to the far as well. Matheny play action fake. He'll hit it out in the flat, and the catch will be made by Christian Frazier, but he's going to end up losing a yard. Great tackle in the open field by David Adams. So a completion for -1 for Matheny will set up a 2nd down and 11. 6:28 to play in the opening quarter. Scoreless football game. Frazier will check out. Chandler Dietz will check back in. So the one look at the fullback I formation for Jeff Matheny, and I think he said, okay, I've seen enough of that. Matheny back in the gun. Murphy, the deep back. Davis to the far boundary. Taylor to the near boundary. Dixon in the slot near side. This will be Murphy on the handoff. Trying to get to the right edge. Nice move to evade one tackler. Get out over the 45 up near the midfield stripe, marking at the 48-yard line of Bethel Park. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 7 for the Blackhawks. Bryson Garner on the tackle for Central.
He's got great feet, Teron Murphy. We saw it on the 16-yard gain that got nullified by the offensive holding call. Right now, they are running behind the right side of that offensive line, primarily Chris Pauley and Sean Davis.
Murphy will check out. 2 receivers to the near boundary for Matheny on 3rd and 7 from his 48 in the gun. And throws far side, has a man open there, Jeremy Lazari. Lazari's going to pull his way forward after making the catch in the far flat and get inside the Central 45 to the 44 for the first down of the football game for either club.
Well, a good way to nullify a strong rushing team defensively, and they certainly are. Rashad Wheeler from that left side is kind of to throw over top of that left defensive end. That's exactly what they did right there. Perfect timing, and so far, so good for Levi Matheny.
You got to get it up there to get over Rashad Wheeler. 2 receivers to the near, 2 receivers to the far. Murphy checks back in as the sidecar for Matheny on 1st and 10 from the Central 44. 5:37 to play in a scoreless opening quarter. And Matheny loses the football, tucked it into the belly of Murphy, then pulled it back out, lost it, but Matheny able to pounce on it for just a loss of about a yard. Set up a 2nd down and 11 from the Central 45-yard line. Scary situation right there, if you're a Hawk fan.
And really, since the start of this football game, Sam, all of a sudden we're seeing some pretty ominous clouds up above us. Looked at the radar, and there's some activity as far as storms kind of around us. We'll have to see how that even materializes or plays a role in this football game.
Breeze has picked up a little bit as well. Brendan Todd to the near boundary. Murphy the sidecar for Matheny on 2nd and 11 from the Central Catholic 45-yard line. Matheny wants to throw, has time this time. He's got a wide open receiver, and Todd can't haul it in. Not only would he have made the catch, but he had plenty of running room in front of him as he ran a little slant now at the Central 35-yard line. That should have been a big gainer, Steve Nagel.
Brendan Todd is going to be kicking himself for missing that football. That was a perfectly delivered football by Levi Matheny, and it just looked to me, Sam, like Brendan Todd was late getting his hands to that football, and because of that, went right through his hands, right off of his mask. And you're right, he would have been off and running and possibly might have gotten to pay dirt.
Instead, 3rd and 11. 2 receivers near. Matheny under center, broken eye behind him. Now they'll crab walk the fullback to the near boundary. Play action fake. Matheny to throw right over the middle, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Chandler Dietz, at the 35-yard line. 4th and 11 coming up for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Punting not a bad thing, so both clubs so far doing plenty of it, Steve Nagel.
There's a flag down. It's going to be a holding call against Bethel Park, which in all likelihood will be declined by Pittsburgh Central Catholic, who's looking to get the football back. Well, he had Dietz, but only for just a moment. Dietz was kind of roaming through that zone defense, and by the time Matheny unloaded the football, Dietz was kind of covered at that point, so unable to gain the sticks on 3rd down.
We saw him as a freshman, and Matheny can just fires laser beams out there. The Hawks will punt it, and the left foot of Levi Matheny will again send the Vikings deep. Garner this time will go back and catch that ball at the 1-yard line and just get out to the 6 before he's tripped up. And the Vikings will take over 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line. Charlie Davis with a nice open field tackle against the D1, Bryson Garner.
Well, I understand Bryson Garner has a chance to take it to the house every time he touches that football, but he's also going to have to be smart in a situation like this, fielding the ball on the 1-yard line as opposed to just letting it go into the end zone. Not a real good tactical move by Bryson Garner.
4.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. We're going to get an official timeout here, and this is one of those, it's hot, we have to get hydrated. Breaks, we'll take a break as well. 4 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Week 1 WPIAL football. Bethel Park and Central Catholic scoreless. Only here on the Management Science Associates Sports Network.
UPMC Sports Medicine is the region's largest and most experienced center dedicated to caring for athletes of all levels. And as we celebrate more than 25 years of world-class care, we're proud to offer more services, have more physicians, and treat more student athletes than any other sports medicine provider in the region. Why would you choose to go anywhere else? To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium alongside Steve Nagler. WPIAL football week 1 underway. Defensive battle so far with 4.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Central Catholic and Bethel Park. Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line. Football on the far hash for first-year starter at quarterback, sophomore Troy Fisher. He's got 3 receivers to the near boundary, 1 to the far. And a sidecar now in Ron George. This will be George taking a handoff straight ahead. Up near the 10-yard line, a gain of about 4. Actually, Ronnie Jones. It is Ronnie Jones. He slides over from wide receiver to tailback. And he picks up 3. They'll mark him down at the 9. Second down and 7. 3 receivers to the near as the Vikings go again. No huddle. Jones the sidecar for Fisher. Garner wide to the near boundary. Jones again takes the handoff straight up the gut. He goes off to the races. 20, 25, 30, out of a tackle, 40. Jones to the midfield stripe, far sideline, and Ronnie Jones is going to go 91 yards for the Central Catholic Viking touchdown, and Central breaks out on top 6-0.
Well, Ronnie Jones, when he broke that first tackle, you could tell from where our vantage point is that he was going to the house. He had to break one more tackle in the secondary. He was able to do it, and nobody was going to catch him from behind. Ronnie Jones can flat out pick him up and put him down. Big turn of events here late in this first quarter.
Jake Ranchi on to attempt the extra point. Out of the hold of Eddie Feardyhurt. 6-0. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up. And the kick is good. And the Vikings a 7-0 lead with 3:45 to play in the opening quarter on a 91-yard touchdown run by Ronnie Jones. WPIAL Football 2015. Only here on the Management Science Associates Sports Network.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium, Central Catholic suddenly on top after the 91-yard touchdown run by Ronnie Jones, 7-0 with 3:45 to play in the opening quarter. Steve Nagler alongside.
Jones finding a crease on that left side. A good job by C.J. Thorpe and Jermaine Stevens on that offensive line, busting open that hole, and Ronnie Jones did the rest.
Roche puts it on the tee, closer to the far hash at the 40-yard line as we look at it. Vikings move from left to right. Davis, Murphy, and Zach Taylor back deep for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. And Steve, I forgot right here. My bad, but could you pick me up there?
Absolutely. Tonight's game is brought to you by Progress, First and Turf, exclusive sponsor of WPIL football.
Roche on the run-up. High kick to the far side. And it will be taken by Taylor right at the 10-yard line. Up the field goes Taylor, 25-30, trying to break it outside. And Roche makes a touchdown-saving tackle at the 37-yard line. And Zach Taylor goes north and south very quickly. And the Hawks with good field position, trailing 7-0 after an impressive 27-yard return by Zach Taylor.
Boy, Roche was the last line of defense there. Had he not been able to make that tackle, Taylor would have been off and running. He himself having excellent speed up the football field.
Football on the far hash at the Hawk 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Bethel Park moves from right to left, trailing 7-0, 3:36 to play. Taylor in the slot near side. Davis wide to the near boundary. 2 receivers to the far side as well for Levi Matheny in the gun. 1st and 10. Takes the snap, has time, fires far side, a little quick hitter there. As he tried to work that pass to the wideout, Jeremy Waderick. That time a little too tall for Waderick. It'll set up a 2nd down and 10.
Well, after Levi Matheny connected on his first 3 passes, he's gone 0 for 3 in his last 3. He's 3 for 6 for 8 yards so far here tonight.
Jake Dixon, the tight end, will check back in. Chandler Dietz to the near boundary on 2nd and 10 from the 37. Wide to the near side. Well, Derek Dixon in the slot near side. Matheny in the gun. Looks like he wants to run. He'll tuck it, breaks away from one tackler, but then cannot break away from the second and third tacklers in the backfield. Gunner Farad and Ronnie George on the tackle for the Central Catholic Vikings. And Matheny dropped for a loss back inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. This Viking defense, Steve, we said it in the pregame, we said it with Don, we said it all night, but they are something special.
No, they really are, and they pride themselves on tackle for losses. They've had a few of those so far here tonight. As a matter of fact, every time Levi Matheny has tried to run the football, he has lost yardage. He's run the ball 3 times for a total of -9 yards.
Sets up a 3rd down, 13 as we get inside. 3 minutes to play on a rolling clock, 2:45 to be exact. Football on the far hash at the 34-yard line. In the slot far side for Dietz, and a timeout going to be called here by Bethel Park. The play clock was winding down on them. And Jeff Matheny will call his club to the near side. We're good. We'll keep it here on the MSA Sports Network. Steve?
Yeah, good time for us to remind you that coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and Mike White look at the teams to watch around the WPIL in 2015. We also want to remind you that some of the top athletes in the WPIL are featured every week on the MSA Sports Center Stage, which you can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall at www.msasports.net. Check out which athletes we're talking to, plus our weekly game lights are now featured here on the MSA Sports Network.
And if you're listening to us, keep in mind you can also be watching this football game. Just Levo in the house on a hot first Friday of 2015. We're streaming video on several games throughout the year. I think at least one game every week around the WPIAL, and you can look it up on our page and also on our YouTube page, msasports.net. Jess is sweating it out here with the stat man from Bethel Park, Chris Siebert. We'll look for some help from him coming up at halftime. Right now, out of the timeout, 3rd and long for the Bethel Park Blackhawks from their own 34-yard line. Matheny now with a pair of sidecars. See if they get one to one side. Johnson, now they'll move Murphy out of the backfield to the far boundary. Matheny has time here, and he wants to go deep. Looking downfield for Davis, and he overthrows everybody. And that ball ends up at the 25-yard line. Davis kind of gave up on it about the 35-yard line. So Matheny, we talked about the big arm, but as you mentioned, Steve, of late, the accuracy hasn't been there.
Well, it hasn't. It was kind of a tough defense to throw into because Central Catholic had fallen into a 2-deep zone, and those 2-deep safeties were very deep. They weren't going to out-throw them.
Matheny will punt it away with the left foot. High spiraling kick. Going to be taken by Jones back at the 20. Now reverse field all the way back here inside the 15. Turns it upfield at the 20, 25, out over the 25 to the 27, almost the 28-yard line before he's bottled up and tackled by the special teams unit of the Bethel Park Blackhawks. 1st and 10 for the Vikings there, leading 7-0 with 2:15 to play in the opening quarter.
Number 66, Luke Bass. 44-yard punt by Levi Matheny.
Jones a 91-yard touchdown run the last time the Vikings had the football. Let's see if he checks back in here as the sidecar for the sophomore quarterback, Troy Fisher. Indeed he will.
Ball's going to the 28-yard line, essentially. 1st and 10.
1st and 10 from the 28. Ron George to the near boundary. 3 receivers to the far side. Jones the sidecar for Fisher. 1st and 10. Fisher wants to throw. And he's got a receiver on the far side for Rott. Turns it back up inside on the wide receiver screen. Still on his feet to the near boundary and all the way out near midfield at the 49-yard line. A nice run after the catch by Gunnar Farrat.
Well, that's right. It was Farrat taking a pass really at the line of scrimmage and making his way downfield for 21 yards on that 1st down play.
And so the Vikes now suddenly have the offense rolling. 1st and 10 from their own 49, already up 7-0. Fisher in the gun again. George to the near boundary, 2 receivers to the far. This time the sidecar Emmanuel. And Emmanuel will take the handoff right at midfield. Surge forward, brought down by Levi Matheny, but not until he picks up a solid 4, maybe even 5, make it 6. They're going to mark him all the way at the Bethel Park 45-yard line. Good tough running that time from Vinny Emmanuel.
We've already seen better offensive output in this game in the first quarter from Pittsburgh Central Catholic than we did all game last year in week 1.
Second and 4 here. Emmanuel again, this time pick his way forward for a couple. He's going to be bottled up. Matheny there, along with Christian Frazier. They'll shove him backwards also there defensively. Chris Polly for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Let's give him a gain of 2. Set up a 3rd and 2 for Central Catholic, again going no huddle. Football on the near hash. Fisher back in the gun. Emmanuel, the sidecar, 3rd and 2. 2 receivers to the near. And now Fisher will stand up, as will all the skill players, and it's going to be timeout Terry Totten. 3rd and 2 from the Bethel Park 43. Have to get just inside the 41 to pick up the first down.
And I think that's a good timeout by head coach Terry Totten. He's got to remember that he's got a quarterback in Troy Fisher, who's a first-year starter, just a sophomore. Big spot, 3rd and 2 on Bethel Park's 43. This could be a very big drive for Central Catholic, already up 7-0. He wants to make sure that with just over 40 seconds to go that everybody's on the same page, understands the play call. So he took the timeout. Both teams now have 2 timeouts left to go remaining in the first half.
Don't forget, we're also streaming video of this football game, as we will be doing every Friday night at MSAsports.net and again on our YouTube channel at MSA Sports on YouTube. The Hometown Girls Volleyball Show can be heard every Monday night at 7 o'clock at MSAsports.net. Join us as we discuss WPIAL Girls High School Volleyball Monday nights starting September 14th. Here they come after the timeout, straight out over the football, and Fisher under center for the first time tonight. Emmanuel, the deep back. Fisher is just going to keep it himself and bull his way forward for the first down. He needed 2, got 3. And that big, strong, experienced offensive line for the Vikings just getting plenty of push up front right there, Steve.
And nice having a quarterback that's 6'4", 200 pounds too, who can drive. He's not gangly though. You look at him, and now we're going to see Michael Navarro into the football game for the first time.
And it's easy to tell the difference now, as Navarro is not nearly 6'4". He's 6 foot flat, a $185. He's in the gun on 1st and 10 from the Hawk 40. 2 receivers near, 2 receivers far. High snap. Navarro handles it and fires far sideline. Has a man open, and this is Farrat, who picks his way forward inside the 35, all the way down to the 33-yard line. Juggled that pass initially, did Farrat, but hauled it in and then righted himself. And he's crazy legs gunner Farrat. He can really make things happen in the open field. So with 3 seconds left, we've got an injured Bethel Park Blackhawk here in the opening quarter, back at the Bethel Park 25-yard line. Trainers will come out and tend to him. While he does, it gives me a moment to remind you, MSA Sports has you covered this fall on the court and on the pitch. Tune in for the hometown soccer broadcasts featuring Upper St. Clair, Penn Trafford, Franklin Regional, Fox Chapel, and Seneca Valley. And we also have hometown girls volleyball broadcasts featuring West Allegheny, Freeport, Brentwood, Bishop Canevin, Avonworth, Southside Beaver, Chartreuse, Houston as well. Hometown soccer and girls volleyball broadcasts only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Zachary Taylor making his way off the football field under his own power. A slight limp, though. And boy, they need him to return. I don't know if maybe that's a cramp. We'll have to keep an eye on him as he has made his way to the Bethel Park sidelines.
And they will just roll the clock and end quarter number 1. And then we come back Central Catholic facing a 2nd down and 3 from the Bethel Park 33, leading 7-0 when we start period number 2. You're listening to WPIAL football, only here on the Management Science Associates Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything, right? I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium alongside Steve Nagler as we get set to start period number 2. 2nd down 3 for the Vikings, now moving from right to left, leading 7-0.
Tonight's game brought to you by Progress, first in turf.
2 receivers to the near, Navarro and Bryson Garner, but some discussion now with the Bethel Park coaching staff with the near side official. Everything's sorted out, and we're set to get back to work. And also now Fisher is checked back in. After a brief visit by Navarro at quarterback, Fisher is back, and he will fake the handoff here. And instead throw near side for Garner, over Garner at the 35-yard line, incomplete. Sets up a 3rd down and 3.
That play was sniffed out really well by right outside linebacker Jacob Dixon. Even if that pass would have been connected upon, it would have really gone for no gain.
Johnson wide to the near boundary. And now the Vikes will go big right here. See if Fisher just keeps it. No, he'll turn and hand it to Emmanuel, and Emmanuel will go over right guard, and he will get very close to the 1st down. A chop down at the 31-yard line, about a yard shy of the lead stick. 4th down and a little bit less than a yard here.
And I really feel, Sam, like Terry Totten felt like this was 4-down territory anyway. 3rd and 3, they went to a dive play, and now they will go for it on 4th and 1.
And this will be Fisher straight ahead, and just enough as he surges over center and then bounces it a little bit toward that right guard. Looked to me like he got it with no problem. It'll depend on the spot, though. It's not quite the generous spot that I thought it might be, but I think it is enough for a 1st down. Yep, they will move those sticks as he just gets the football back nose inside the 30-yard line.
Very successful drive, not only in gaining yardage, but they are really taking a lot of time off of this 1st half clock.
Garner to the near boundary, Farrat in the slot to the far. And Fisher back in the gun, 1st and 10 from just inside the 30. A little muff the handoff here to Emmanuel. It's going to be picked up by Matheny. And the Hawks will get it back. Turnover, Steve, you said could be an issue. And right there, a little miscommunication as Fisher turned to hand it to Emmanuel, and nobody held on to the football. Matheny picked it up on the bounce, and the Hawks take over. 1st and 10 on the first turnover of the 2015 season for the Vikings.
Central Catholic getting a little too cutesy, Sam. I think that was supposed to be a direct snap right to Emmanuel. He was kind of coming in to kind of take that snap. It was a high snap, and really both he and the starting quarterback, Troy Fisher, grabbing for it, but neither one could corral it. Levi Matheny getting the big turnover.
Vikes lead at 7-0. 1st down for the Hawks who are trying to make something with the turnover here. And Murphy bursts over the left side, and he will get out over the 40 to the 41. Loses the football, but he is down prior to that. They'll mark him down just at the Bethel Park 42-yard line. A solid run there for Murphy on 1st down. Will set up a 2nd and short for the Hawks, and that's where you want to be against this Viking defense.
Yeah, if you can play second down and short, 3rd down and short, you're going to be in business a little bit more against this defense.
High formation again for the Hawks on 2nd and 1 from their own 42. They trail at 7-0 with 10.5 remaining in the opening quarter. And again, room for Murphy over that left side. And again, Murphy bursts forward. 1st down out to the midfield stripe before he's dragged down. And again, he almost lost the football at the end of that play, able to hang on as he was spun down at the 50-yard line. And the Hawks get a little something going here offensively with the emotional lift maybe from the turnover.
Yeah, they really have. A couple of 8-yard gains on the first 2 plays after that turnover by Murphy. Now they're running behind the left side of the Bethel Park offensive line. Gamitter and Dietz doing a good job.
Wide to the near boundaries with Derrick, and again, they'll go quick count here and try the other side. Murphy surges forward for a couple, not quite as many at the near boundary. Nice tackle in the open field by Kurt Heinisch, and Kurt Heinisch is a big fellow, Steve Nagler, 6'3", 280. Nowhere for Murphy to go after he picks up 2, sets up a 2nd down and 8, right on top of the Hawks Millen at Blackhawk Stadium. .9:36 on the rolling clock. First half action. Bethel Park, their best offensive drive of the football game right here into Central Catholic territory at the 48-yard line. Facing a 2nd and short 8. I formation again. And Matheny, play action fake, wants to throw. And he fires, had a man there. Dixon at the 35-yard line. Ball in his hands, but man, hit high and low was Dixon there defensively. DeMar Hamlin along with David Adams, and they put a licking on Jake Dixon at the 35. Can't hold on. Sets up a 3rd and 8.
Well, he slammed the turf. Very disappointed in himself that he didn't come down with that football. It was a well-thrown pass. It was a difficult catch because of the proximity to the defenders. But it's one that Dixon would love to have back. I think he makes that catch more often than not.
Matheny brings now a whole new set of skilled kids into the huddle. Dixon will come near and take a breather. Man, he took a lick on that play. Matheny in the gun on 3rd and 8. Incompletion stopped the clock at 9:14. And now Jeff Matheny would like a timeout to talk things over. Big play here for his club. Trailing 7-0 with 9:14 to play in the opening half.
I really like this timeout, and I'll tell you for a couple reasons. First of all, it's a big play. 3rd down and 8 with the Bethel Park offense driving a little bit. And it might allow him to put Jake Dixon back into this football game after he gets a little bit of a breather. He did take that big hit on 2nd down, and now as he's kind of walking into the huddle, we'll see if he maybe is reinserted into this football game. He is Levi Matheny's #1 target on this offense. It looks like he is shaking off the cobwebs a little bit, and will head back into this football game.
Don't forget, Steve, tune in to This Week in the WPIAL every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock at the MSA Sports Network. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches, plus we'll preview week 2 of the WPIAL football showdown. This past Wednesday, fantastic interview. It's in the archives as Tim O'Malley, the executive leader of the WPIAL, joined Don and the cast over there for This Week in the WPIAL. Fantastic interview with Mr. O'Malley discussing the possible switch to 6 classifications in football and why the WPIAL is not very keen on that, but really some fascinating, very interesting stuff. Go back and check that out on the archive. 3rd and 8 here for the Hawks, trailing 7-0, 9:14 to play in the opening half. A big play coming up out of the timeout. And indeed, Dixon will check back in. Good call by you, Steve. He's in the slot to the far boundary. Matheny in a passing situation. Takes the snap. Fires near side, and he's over top of Davis. His intended receiver there defensively was DeMar Hamlin. But no chance for Davis on that. 4th down and 8 for Bethel Park.
And Matheny just rushed that pass. He didn't allow his feet to set. He's trying to hit Davis on that quick screen, and instead of go for it on 4th and long, good move by head coach Jeff Matheny to punt this football away.
Now Jones and Hamlin will go back deep for the Vikings. Matheny will punt this ball toward the far hash, and it'll be taken by Jones at the 15-yard line. Still on his feet, but going backwards inside the 15, back near the 11, and that is splendid special teams coverage by the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Jake Dixon leading the charge, along with number 44, Christian Frazier. And Jones is going to get a negative return of 3 yards on that play. Another solid punt by Matheny, and great coverage that time by the Hawks.
After this football game, you got to hightail it out of here because you're heading back to the MSA studios. And we'll be part of the roundtable on the Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands. You'll be joined by who else? Bobby Orquist. Should be a good show. Tune in after the game.
A lot of big games in week 1. We're non-conference here, but a lot of huge games with playoff implications already around the WPIAL in week 1, including in AAA the Parkway. Montour and Central Valley. Talk about opening up with a big-time football game. Here's Fisher on 1st and 10 from his own 12, firing far sideline. Let's see if they'll say that was a backward pass. No, they will not, as it was picked up by Davis. Do the right thing there. Charlie Davis off the incompletion says, hey, maybe. Picks it up, runs it into the end zone. Instead, it's just an incompletion. Sets up a 2nd and 10 for Central from their own 12-yard line. They lead at 7-0.
Troy Fisher, 2 of 6 so far in this first half. He has amassed 28 yards through the air.
Ron George to the near boundary. Fisher on 2nd and 10 has 3 receivers to the far. He'll roll the far side. Backside pressure comes. He's got Garner wide open, and Garner will get out over the 20 and be spun down at the 23-yard line. Pick up 11 for a first down for Central Catholic.
Now Garner just kind of finding a soft spot in that zone. He kind of sat down in it, was wide open, and good play by Troy Fisher, who was rolling out to his right, kind of set his feet. A good strong throw to Garner.
I'll mark him at the 24. First down 10 there for the Vikings. Jones will take the handoff, and he'll be bottled up as he gets 1. And on the tackle, James Gameter. Big time penetration by Gameter up front right there. Set up a 2nd and 9 here. The big tight end Wheeler in the slot to the near. 3 receivers to this near boundary, including Farrat. And rolling this way will be Fisher. Fires near side. Unable to hang on as Ronnie George at the 30-yard line. Coming in to deliver the blow was Devin Andrews defensively, separating George from that football, and it's going to set up a 3rd and long for the Vikings.
George just took his eyes off of that football. He saw Devin Andrews coming his way, and as soon as you take those eyes off that football, generally, you're going to drop it. And that's exactly what happened on that 2nd and long pass attempt.
7:56 to play in the half. Vikings lead at 7-0. Big play here on 3rd and 9 from the 25. Fisher pump fake. Now he looks backside trying to set up the screen. He will, but Emmanuel's going to be hit immediately and dropped. Charlie Davis sniffing that one out, Steve. And a good play, a little help from Levi Matheny. And it's going to be 4th down for the Vikings.
That was a really terrific play by Charlie Davis, as you mentioned, as he came in on that backside. It was one of those plays where, again, everything was looking like the formation was going to go to the left, and Troy Fisher sold it by rolling out initially to the left, came back through the little screen back against the grain, but Davis came up and made a nice tackle.
DeSabato to punt it away, takes the snap at his own 12, and gets a high end-over-end kick. And Davis going to go back, and he'll take it at the 27. Now reverses field back to the far hash, 30, 35, flag on the play. And I think we're talking about a block in the back as Davis gets out to about the 39-yard line. Solid return by Davis, who had a little miscommunication with Murphy there. They were both back there going after that football. And this is going to be marked off against Bethel Park.
Really unfortunate, too, for the Blackhawks, because a good return that time by Davis would have given them excellent field position at their own 40-yard line. Now they're going to mark it back from the 25-yard line. It's actually going to probably be
the 15.
Yeah. 10 yards from there. So you're right. Difference in 25 yards in terms of starting field position.
1st and 10 from the 15 for Bethel Park. Football on the far hash. The Hawks trail at 7-0. 7-11 to play here in the opening half of 2015 WPIAL Week 1 on the MSA Sports Network. We're streaming with Jess Levo in the house. Jess is just chilling right now. She got a sandwich from Amy, and she says, no, she's uncomfortably warm. Matheny under center on 1st and 10 from the 15. Movement up front. A little hard count from Jeff Matheny. He hasn't been playing quarterback here for 13 years. For nothing at all, Steve Megger.
Yeah, seems like a 6th-year starter.
He does.
It seems like he's been around forever.
And I think he might have invited the Vikings across. They did come across. We'll see what the call is. There's a lot of discussion. Dead ball. It is encroachment against the Vikings. So 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 5. Back out at the 20-yard line now. We've seen him do that a ton. Really, he did that even as a freshman.
Yes. Coach's kid. Knows how to get the defense to jump every now and then.
He's got a receiver wide to the near boundary. I formation behind him on 1st and 5. Had some success running the football on their last drive to the Hawks, and they'll try it again here. And Murphy's got a lot of room left side, looking for a block. First down and more, out over the 40, still on his feet, and spun out of bounds out at the 46-yard line. And that time it was Gunnar Farrat making a touchdown-saving tackle.
Boy, Farrat made a great play on that play. If it wasn't Farrat kind of, finessing off of the block that was in front of Teron Murphy, I think, would have gone the distance. But Farrat made that play really nicely and stopped an even longer gain.
Big gain for the Hawks. Sets up a 1st down and 10. Mark the football at the Bethel Park 46-yard line. Bethel Park moves from left to right. Football on the far hash, 7:03 remaining in the opening half. I formation again behind Matheny. Play action fake. Now they'll set up a little screen here, and he overthrows his intended receiver. Pressure coming really hard from the backside. David Adams, as they try to work that little screen pass out to the far. It'll fall incomplete, set up a 2nd and 10.
I like the thought. I like the play call. After a nice 26-yard gain, you go play action, kind of sucking the Central Catholic defense, thinking that you're going to run the football again. But Central Catholic defensively did not commit to the run and was able to stave off any yardage on that pass play.
Dietz wide to the near boundary. Now split the backs behind Matheny, who's in kind of a pistol look on 2nd and 10. Motion Murphy to the near, fire quickly to the tight end. Dixon makes the catch and then makes a nice move. Gets upfield into Central Catholic territory. He'll pick up 9 on the play, a yard short of that lead stick. And so Dixon, we talked about his size and being a good target, and that time just kind of sits down on that soft spot, Steve, and then the nifty footwork to make it a 9-yard gain.
Well, and Levi Matheny really looked off Jake Dixon as well. That's what made that play kind of happen. A little pump fake to the outside, and then he went back to the inside with Jacob Dixon, and Dixon was wide open.
1st and 10, 3rd and 1. Big play here from the Viking 45-yard line. I formation behind Matheny, and this time nothing doing. As Murphy will lose a yard. Back to the 46 on the play defensively, Kurt Heinisch for the Central Catholic Vikings. 6'3", 280.
Murphy made the mistake that time, Sam, of kind of tippy-toeing to the line of scrimmage. He did not hit the hole as hard as he could, and there might not have been a big hole there, but really, against this defense, as soon as you hesitate as a running back, you're going to lose yardage, and that's exactly what happened.
Sets up a 4th and 2. Looks like the Hawks intend to go for it right here.
Keep in mind, Levi Matheny is the punter.
And he will take that snap, and he will indeed punt it. Low line drive, end over end kick, nobody back deep. It'll take a Bethel Park bounce and then die right at about the 11-yard line. It'll be actually down by Chandler Dietz as they tried to spin back the other way. 1st and 10 there for the Vikings, up 7-0, but positive things in both their last 2 drives for the Bethel Park offense.
Well, you're exactly right, Sam. This offense of Bethel Park looks completely different in week 1 than it did in week 1 of 2014. I think they amassed, if I remember right, only about 40 yards of total offense in that week 1 loss, 41-0 last year. This year they look much, much better. Their offensive line is actually controlling the line of scrimmage at times.
5:19 to play in the opening half. Central on top, 7-0. Do we need to take a break, Stephen? We'll take a break. We'll come right back. They're having a hydration break here at Blackhawk Stadium. Central Catholic on top, 7-0. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2015 here on the MSA Sports Network.
MSA Sports broadcasts are now available on both Android and iOS devices. Just navigate to the game of your choice, and on your mobile device, press the arrow or play button. It's that easy. No app needed. No matter where you are, MSA Sports content is available at your fingertips via your iPad, Android phone, iPod, and iPhone. Anytime, anywhere, always there. The MSA Sports Network.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium alongside Steve Nagler. Week 1, a good one so far between Bethel Park and the number 1 team in the MSA Sports Quad 8 Top 10, the Central Catholic Vikings, leading 7-0. First and 10 for the Vikes at their own 11-yard line. 5:19 to play in the half. They lead at 7-0. Fisher back in there, quarterback again. And he will turn and hand the football off to Emmanuel. Bounces out right side, and he's got room out over the 20 to the 21 before he's spun down by Matheny. But that time running room for Emmanuel as he shakes loose for his biggest run of the night. A first down for Central Catholic, mark it all the way out at the 22. First and 10 Central. Emmanuel the sidecar on first and 10 from the 22. Fisher takes the snap and he'll give it to Emmanuel again. Straight up the gut he goes, all the way out over the 25, and in fact over the 30 to the 31-yard line. An 8-yard gain, but yellow laundry on the field. Back in the backfield. We're right near the line of scrimmage. Holding is going to be the call against the Central Catholic Vikings for that 8-yard run coming back.
A tough break for both Emmanuel and the Vikings as a whole. Another good gain on first down, which will be nullified due to the holding call.
Coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show. This week, Don Rebel and Mike White with a look at teams to watch around the WPIAL in 2015. Because I'm behind the curtain, Steve. I know what's going on. I've had a chance to listen to that halftime show already. You don't want to miss it. Penalty will put the football all the way back inside the 15 at the 14. Set up a first and very long here for the Vikes. And again, they're going to get penalized. A little motion up front there. Jumping a little bit early was Callan Adamitis. His older brother, Graham Adamitis, is a tight end and a quarterback for the Vikings. Up until, I think, 2 years ago.
Now, this is a big opportunity for Bethel Park defensively as Central Catholic shooting themselves in the foot with consecutive penalties. They're significantly behind the sticks, and if Bethel Park can get their defense off the football field, they will get good field position here.
First and 23. Mark the football all the way back at the 9-yard line. Emmanuel the sidecar for Fisher. He'll take the handoff and go right side. Spins forward out over the 10 to the 15-yard line. He's going to get a 6-yard gain. Set up a second down 17.
Boy, you see the speed and the explosiveness of Vinny Emmanuel. You like to see that, especially if you're Terry Totten, the offensive coaches. Emmanuel had a good year last year, averaging nearly 7 yards per carry. Gained 567 yards last year.
Second and 17. He's the sidecar here from the 15. Fake it to him, and now they'll throw far side. And a catch is made, but a tremendous tackle in the open field by Charlie Davis. You said it in the pregame, Steve. Davis, a playmaker on offense, but man, oh man, is he a special defender as he absolutely dropped Ron George in his tracks and sets up a third down 17.
Well, he always seems to be in the middle of the play, doesn't he, defensively? Even though he plays kind of off of the line of scrimmage many times. Kind of a deep, free safety position.
Third and 17. 3 receivers to the near for the Vikes here. Fisher, straight drop looking to throw, and he fires down the near hash for Rott. Unable to catch up to it out at midfield. And it will fall incomplete. And 4th and 17 coming up for the Vikings, and the Hawks take advantage of that defensive opportunity you mentioned they had, Steve Nick.
Yeah, perfect scenario for them, too, as they get an incomplete pass. It stops the clock, giving them 3:14 still to work here in this first half. You figure they're going to get very good field position. Odds are they're going to start this drive inside of Central Catholic territory.
Vikings going to get this kick away, but it's going to be inside his own 5-yard line. Almost blocked. They came after it. Might have been partially blocked, just tipped, and it's a very short kick. Going to bounce out of bounds at the Central Catholic 29-yard line, and the Hawks in business there, trailing 7-0.
It was Tyler Barnott busting through on special teams, getting a piece of that punt, and it results in excellent starting field position in this drive for Bethel Park.
Football on the far hash, 1st and 10 from the Viking 29-yard line. And after that 91-yard touchdown run, Steve, honestly, I thought, Bethel Park might be in trouble right here. Jones took off from 91 yards out, and Central took the lead, and I thought maybe things would lean that way, but Bethel Park, give them credit. They have stayed strong offensively and defensively in this football game, right in it now. Late in this first half with 3:05 to play on first down, Matheny. Quick hitters, got Dixon, breaks the tackles, and another, still on his feet, Dixon inside the 10, Dixon to the 5, diving for the end zone, touchdown Bethel Park. Dixon from 29 yards out. Looked like it was going to be about a 5-yard gain, but Dixon just would not be denied, and the Hawks pulled it within one on the 29-yard touchdown pass from Levi Matheny to Jake Dixon.
That was unbelievable. Not only in the execution, the pitch and catch, but after the catch, Dixon was contacted by 2 defenders and still able to stay on his feet.
And the extra point attempt is wide to the right, off the foot of the Bethel Park kicker, Kelsey Tischler. And with 2:55 to play, a 1-point football game. 7-6, Central remains on top.
Well, that missed extra point puts a little bit of a damper on the excitement here at Bethel Park Stadium. But wow, what a great play individually by Jacob Dixon, as he was able to stay on his feet, the big, strong senior, able to go the distance after he was contacted down the football field.
And Kelsey Tischler, and I like to see this, teammates coming over to Kelsey, who's a girl. Kelsey Tischler won that job outright as the field goal and extra point kicker, big-time soccer player for the Bethel Park Blackhawks, and the teammates coming over to her, telling her to shake that off, and the Hawks very much in this football game. And we'll see if that doesn't pay off for Tischler later on. 7-6, Vikings on top, and they'll get the football back with inside 3 minutes to play in the half. As the kickoff specialist will come out, Sean Halligan for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Put it on the far hash. Ron George and Ronnie Jones back deep. Halligan on the run-up. Short kick going to be taken at the 22-yard line and then almost lost by one of the upbacks. And out over the 25 to about the 27, running with the football that time was Tim Terry.
Well, Sam, you mentioned how Bethel Park took that blow, that 91-yard touchdown run, and withstood it. The big play in this football game was the fumble, because once Central Catholic got that football back, they were driving. Looked like they had a pretty good chance of getting in the end zone again, possibly going up 2 scores, 14-0. But a big fumble on a poor snap, and Bethel Park really has had the momentum ever since.
Yeah, it got them very much emotionally back into the football game. Fisher back in there on 1st and 10. Hand it off to Jones, trying to bounce it out to the far side. He does so, turns the corner, 30, 35, 40, and spun down after a 12-yard gain. Well, let's give him 11. They'll mark him down at the 39, 1st and 10 for the Vikings. And Ronnie Jones that time again doing it by himself. He's brought down by Dietz.
Jones now over 100 yards rushing, 4 carries, 106 yards, and that 91-yard touchdown run to his credit.
2:40 to play in the half. They stopped the clock to move the sticks. Now they'll roll it. A banana bunch of receivers to the near boundary. Fisher instead will hand it off to Jones. This time they try to bounce to the near side, and nothing doing there. He's driven backwards and finally goes down all the way back at the 30. I'm sure they'll give him forward progress. Indeed they will. It'll just be a loss of 1. But how about Chandler Dietz defensively along with Jake Dixon? No cutback that time for Ronnie Jones.
Well, Dietz hit Jones 2 yards or a yard in the backfield and just kept those feet driving forward, really drove him back 10 yards into the backfield.
Terry Totten has a saying, and I hear him say it all the time, you got to be willing to go lower and harder than the other guy's willing to go, and that time it was Bethel Park going lower and harder. 2nd and long here with inside 2 minutes to play in the half. Fisher back in the gun, 2 receivers to each boundary. He's got time. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. He runs to the far side, and now he's in trouble. He's going to be spun down all the way back inside the 30 at the 26 by Levi Matheny. And the Hawks defense says, hey, we play a little defense down here in the South Hills as well.
A loss of 12 as Troy Fisher, showing a little bit of his youth there, only a sophomore, was out of the tackle box, could have thrown the ball back towards the line of scrimmage and averted that 12-yard loss. Now they're 3rd and 23 on their own 26-yard line.
Football on the far hash. 3 receivers to the near boundary. As Fisher barks out the signals and loses the football. Loose in front, and it's going to be picked up by the running back. And Jones, I think that was. A nice job to pounce on that football. Could have been serious disaster for the Vikings. It'll bring up 4th and long. And the Hawks will get it back with inside a minute to play. 57 seconds remaining in the half, and Levi Matheny has a bazooka of a left arm.
Yeah, still just under a minute to go. They will have a lot of time, and I think the thing that they really like about this situation, Sam, is they got Charlie Davis back as the guy that's going to be taking this punt. He's been pretty successful in returning punts so far here tonight.
Yeah, he's just a big-time playmaker, and I think the other thing they've got to like is we've seen Davis behind the secondary a number of times here tonight. Now, Matheny's been unable to find him, but he has gotten behind a very, very good Central Catholic Viking secondary a couple of times here tonight, possibly because Bethel Park has had a little bit of success running the football.
We want to remind you to not to forget to tune in for this week in the WPIL on Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIL coaches, plus we will preview week 2 of the WPIL football season.
7-6, Central Catholic on top. A very different football game than it was last year at Carnegie Mellon University. Still a very defensive football game, but boy, much, much closer and much more tougher contest. I remember by about the halfway through the 3rd quarter last year, Steve, we were making up stories.
Yes, we were. Absolutely. And most of those stories centered around the defense of Central.
That's right.
Central Catholic.
We were learning how to pronounce 30 Hertz's name at that point. He came on in relief. As the Vikes get set to punt it away, Davis indeed is back deep. He waits for this punt at his own 34-yard line. Whatever they're grilling out on the deck here tonight at Blackhawk Stadium is just kind of wafting up in here. I won't talk to you about that. Because I know you're like stuffed. Here's the snap. Kick is away. Remember the last one partially blocked. This one high and short. Going to bounce the 45. Take a Bethel Park bounce back into Central Catholic territory and be down to the 49-yard line. That was a Steve Nagler sandwich spinning back toward the stick. And the Hawks in business with 49 seconds from the Central Catholic 49-yard line.
Well, they have to be feeling really good about themselves offensively. A couple of excellent drives even before the short one-play 29-yard touchdown drive. They've got it rolling, and now they have, again, great field position.
Don't forget, if you're listening to us, you could be watching us on the MSA Sports Network. We are video streaming this game, and it'll be available on YouTube sometime over the long holiday weekend. Just Levo in the house, getting it done for the MSA Sports Network. Just inside 50 seconds to play in the half. Vikings lead by 1. 1st and 10 for the Hawks from the Viking 49. Matheny has time. Now he's flushed. He'll pick his way forward and get back to the line of scrimmage before he is spun down by Rashad Wheeler.
Well, Matheny looked downfield. He saw that nobody was open. Central Catholic's defense did a good job of covering all the receivers and pulled it down quickly, tried to get some yards, just got back to the line of scrimmage.
We get inside half a minute to play. The Hawks go no huddle here. Matheny will take the snap and drop, fire into the flat, and it's over the head of his intended receiver, Taryn Murphy. And at midfield, the incompletion will stop the clock with 18 seconds remaining in the half. You take a shot right here, Steve Nagel?
I would, absolutely. There's nothing to lose, really, at this stage of this second quarter. And considering the field position, Sure, I would throw the ball downfield.
And the arm strength of Levi Matheny. 3rd and 10 from the Central Catholic 49-yard line.
You throw the ball past the sticks, you get a first down. Clock will stop. They'd be able to get up to the ball and clock it and have a throw into the end zone.
18.3 on the clock. Pair of sidecars. Now they'll motion Murphy to the near boundary. Matheny will roll this way. Has time, pump fakes, now sets up, fires deep downfield, looking for Davis. Davis, almost makes the catch at the 10-yard line. Somehow Matheny in triple coverage able to drop that ball right under the shoulder pads of Charlie Davis at the 10-yard line, but he couldn't hold on, Steve Negrin.
Well, the Vikings had 3 players deep, and they all stopped to watch the football. I don't know what they did back there, but the only one that kept their feet moving was Davis, and it almost resulted in a long pass completion down the right sideline.
10 seconds to play. 4th and 10 from the Central 49. Looks like they're going to run the punt unit out there so as not to risk giving Central a chance to take a shot. I don't know if I wouldn't just take my shot again.
I agree with you.
Matheny will take the snap, and he will indeed punt it away. He's going to punt it. Will bounce at the 4. Does not go into the end zone. Spins to the right, and it will be down by Murphy at the 1.5-yard line.
Well, I could have sworn that I saw that football hit the end line.
I thought so as well. Sleeper was looking at it on video. What's the story, Sleeper? That was going to be the end of the first half anyway. At the end of a half of football, it's Central Catholic 7. Bethel Park 6. You're listening to 2015 WPIAL football action only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Attention high school seniors. As one of America's top colleges, you'll want to join Grove City College for its Senior Crimson Day on Saturday, October 10th. You'll have the opportunity to explore more than 50 majors and learn more about the value of a Grove City College education. In fact,
the MSA Sports Network is more than just...
Attention high school seniors. As one of America's top colleges, you'll want to join Grove City College for its Senior Crimson Day on Saturday, October 10th. You'll have the opportunity to explore more than 50 majors and learn more about the value of a Grove City College education. In fact,
the MSA Sports Network is more than just high school football this fall. Log on to MSASports.net for coverage of all other scholastic fall sports with schedules, results, and rankings of boys and girls soccer. We'll also have results and postseason coverage of girls tennis, boys and girls golf, and cross country. Plus results and rankings along with weekly matches involving the MSA Sports Hometown Girls Volleyball program. The best coverage of all WPIL fall sports is only here on the MSA Sports Network. Make sure to follow the MSA Sports Network on social media this season for breaking news, scores, links to our articles, and much more. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MSA Sports and get in on the conversation with thousands of local sports fans. Follow us on Twitter at MSA Sports and check out our YouTube channel, MSA Sports WPIL, for hundreds of video interviews with local student athletes, game highlights, and more. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or our websites, MSA Sports is the place to go for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
When Dollar Bank was founded in 1855, it was on the idea that banking should be available to everyone. 160 years later, Dollar Bank is still helping everyday people get everything they deserve. Without shareholders, Dollar Bank is able to think differently, like new Everything Checking. You get everything you want in a checking account with no monthly service fee just by doing the things you do every day. And Everything Checking is not just available to high balance customers, everyone can get it. Everything Checking includes interest, 55,000 free ATMs. And now everyone can celebrate Dollar Bank's 160th anniversary by earning 1.60% APY up to $20,000 all year long with everything savings. Are you getting everything you deserve? Ask for new Everything Checking only from Dollar Bank. Call 1-800-242-BANK, stop by, or visit dollarbank.com for details. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate and service fee waiver require Everything Checking with 6 qualifying monthly payments. 0.25% annual percentage yield over $20,000. Subject to change without notice. Dollar Bank. Member FDIC.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium, halftime, 7-6 Central Catholic on top. The Vikings broke out on top 7-0. Ronnie Jones, a 91-yard touchdown run. But Bethel Park hanging tough defensively, offensively, get a turnover and get some positive things going on the ground with Taryn Murphy. And then Jake Dixon, a 29-yard touchdown catch from Levi Matheny. Dixon, a tremendous individual effort to pull the Hawks to within one. Extra point a little wide right. And it's a one-point football game at the break, Steve Nagle.
It is. Looking at the first half stats, Central Catholic actually outgained Bethel Park 175-97, but you take away that 91-yard touchdown run, and things are much closer from a total yardage standpoint. Leading the way for Central Catholic on the ground, Ronnie Jones with that big run for the touchdown. He has 6 carries, good for 103 yards and that 91-yard touchdown. Vinny Emanuel also doing a good job on the ground for the Vikings. 7 carries for 31 yards. Taryn Murphy is the leading ground gainer and really the only ground gainer for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. So he had 7 carries for 54 yards in the first half. Passing, Troy Fisher was 5 of 11 for 42 yards. No touchdowns, no INTs. A pretty good first half for the first-year starter, the sophomore Fisher. Levi Matheny, after going 3 of 3 through the air, completing his first 3 completions, he finished the first half completing 5 of 15 passes, good for 52 yards and that 29-yard touchdown pass. Jacob Dixon, 3 catches in the first half for Bethel Park, good for 45 yards and that 29-yard touchdown catch.
We're going to take a break and come back and do some scores. 7-6 Central on top. It's a dandy on opening night 2015 WPIAL football. We're going to do the halftime show now. Okay, we'll do the halftime show. Then we'll come back. We'll have more updated scores. You, my friend, you know what? You're a genius. It's the halftime show with Don Rebel and Mike White. You're listening to WPIAL football 2015 only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Music to the ears of many, it's the halftime show. Week 1, 2015 season here on the MSA Sports Network. I am Don Rebel, joined again by Mr. Michael White of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Welcome back, Mr. White.
It is a pleasure to be back, Mr. Rebel. How long have we been doing this halftime show?
Oh man.
100 years?
Nobody thought it would last
years?
2 weeks, but
yeah,
so we broke that
barrier.
barrier.
Okay, it's not 100 years, although it seems that way. But you know what is 100 years old this year?
No.
The first WPIAL championship game, Mr. Rebel. 100 years ago, first championship game was played. Wilkinsburg beat Fifth Avenue. Now, there was a champion in 1914, but there was no championship game.
And it was Wilkinsburg.
It was Wilkinsburg. They were declared the champion, which happened back then without a championship game. So, a little bit of history for you.
Was it played at historic Graham Field?
I'm not sure. Good question.
It's old enough. It might have housed that first
It might have. Now, after the break, we're going to talk this week about top teams, right? After the break, the best teams in the entire WPIL. Before the break, I thought we'd talk about maybe some sleeper teams. These are no teams I think that aren't going to win WPIL championships, but could make some noise this year to keep an eye on. Maybe some teams you haven't heard of in the past. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Quad A, I say, how about Plum? Matt Morgan's done a terrific job, former NFL player. They went 6-5 last year, won a playoff game.
Yep.
They've been getting better. 8 starters return on offense, 6 on defense. They're not going to win a championship, but keep an eye on them. Bethel Park, you don't hear much about them, Dom? Decent amount of players back on the lines. Levi Matheny. Levi's coming.
Seems like he's been there 100 years.
Only 4, but it does seem like 100. Upper St. Clair, first losing season since 1979 under little Jimmy Render.
Little Jimmy wasn't happy.
Most of their line is back. They are big. I think they're pretty good. AAA, not a lot of people are talking about Hampton. Do you get that feeling? I mean,
Yes.
they won the conference last year. They've got people back, 1,000-yard rusher back. I say watch them. Newcastle, they developed some linemen. They have some skilled people. I like a lot of their skill. I'm not saying this team is going to be real good, but will Gateway be any better in Tom Nola's second year?
No. They were a bit of a disappointment last year.
Yeah, they were. 4-6 last year. Watch Ambridge. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2005. Played a lot of sophomores last year. They could make some noise in that Good Parkway Conference. AA, Allegheny Conference. No one seems to talk about them, but Highlands is still good, Don. Paula Ridge is Dwayne Brown. Freeport, underrated. Logan Timon's one of the WPIL better players. No championships from that conference, but some good teams. Everyone talks about Aliquippa and Beaver Falls and AA, and they should. Don't sleep on Beaver, all right?
I won't.
Single A. Will we have the return to prominence for the Rochester Rams?
I predicted that.
I say yes. I know Gene Matzuk thinks he might have things going again down there after a few years of
struggling.
Yes. There will be on the rebound last year. And watch Brentwood in Class A.
When we return, the elite teams to watch, correct?
Not the players, the elite teams. Yes.
To watch. It's the halftime show on the MSA Sports Network. When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Halftime show continues here in week one. Don Rebel, Mike White. We're talking teams to watch in 2015. We talked about some of the good teams to watch. Now it's time to focus on the entire district.
The best of the best.
Teams, the elite teams coming into the season.
We're going to team up here. I think it will take a great team to beat Clairton in single A. We'll start in single A.
Yeah.
Don, in the past 9 years, they're 117-8. That's an average of 13 wins a year. Do you think there's another team in the country, seriously, that has averaged, I don't know the answer, that has averaged 13 wins a year over the past 9 years? And after 1 year, they're loaded again. 1 year after setting a state record for points in the season, can they finish it off this year winning the state championship, though? I say they do it this year. Is it them and everyone else in Class A? I think so. Watch North Catholic, or Cardinal World North Catholic. New coach Jason Gilden, former Steeler. Neshannock is good again, I think. Don't sleep on Avonworth. Double A. What do you do with South Fayette and Aliquippa? You're certainly not going out on a limb saying Aliquippa will be in the finals. They've been there 7 years in a row. A sad story this week. They're running back to Monte Bronau being diagnosed with leukemia. He's out, but they still have Kazon Pugh back and a number of other people. May not be quite as good on the lines, but they may develop as the season goes on. South Fayette, they don't have Brett Brumbaugh anymore, so what will happen? I don't think they're going to be quite as good as they were, but I still think they might finish undefeated in the regular season, and they will be a factor come playoff time. Beaver Falls, a lot of people talking about them. Big, strong, a lot of people back. They have to prove it, Don.
Very young last year.
They have to prove it in the playoffs. I like Washington a lot. Seton LaSalle lost a lot, but they have Paris Ford. They are a team to watch. AAA, you get the feeling, my feeling is there's no overwhelming team.
I agree.
I think AAA might be a little bit down, actually. Central Valley's good, but they're not. We put them number one, just defending champ. There is nobody else. They don't have a playmaker like they did in the past, but they still will be good. West Allegheny, some kids back. Some question marks about them. They'll be good. Montour's the one. A lot of people talked about they lost their quarterback, though, to a knee injury in June. Don, Thomas Jefferson, they're going to be good again.
Really?
Yes. Surprising, I know. I mean, but they got walloped by West Allegheny, was surprising in the semifinals last year, but a lot of people back, some sophomores, young kids that ran the ball well last year. They'll be good. Quad A Central Catholic, all the talk. 6 players from power conferences have scholarship offers. 3 4-star players, that's unheard of for a team around here. Do they have a passing game? Woodland Hills, very good again. Maybe the best backfield combo in the WPL. Penn Trafford, good. NA, still good, I think. And let's keep an eye on Pine Richland.
Oh, really? Love for the defending
They weren't going to be as good as they were, but they still might be pretty good.
All right, Michael, week 2. What do we do in week 2?
Playoffs.
The playoffs. Enjoy opening weekend of the 2015 season here on the MSA Sports Network.
Speaking of players, back alongside one of the great players in the WPIAL, Steve Nagler. I'm Sam Hall. Halftime for Blackhawk Stadium, Bethel Park, and Central Catholic. Embroiled in a dandy with the number 1 in the MSA Sports Quad A Top 10. Central Catholic Vikings clinging to a 1-point halftime lead. 7-6 Steve Nagler. And right now, a lot of good football going on around the WPIAL in week 1. Let's quickly check the scoreboard around town.
Well, we'll take a look starting with Aliquippa. They kind of pick up where they've always left off, 47-7. They are defeating Mohawk in the second quarter of that football game. Apollo Ridge has a 21-14 lead over Keystone Oaks. Armstrong 14, Hollidaysburg nothing. Fraser 52, Avella nothing. Avonworth 28, Chartiers Houston 7. Beaver Falls shutting out Freedom 6-0. Trinity 7, Bell Vernon 3. Bentworth 14, Carmichael's nothing. Beth Center has a 28-6 lead over Mapletown. Silver Oak Academy 25, Blairsville 14. Outside of the WPIL. Burgettstown 21, Waynesburg nothing. Valley 21, Burrell 6. Altoona 13, Butler 7. Mount Lebanon shutting out Cannon McMillan 10-0. That in the first quarter. Cardinal World North Catholic, they've always been good of late. As Mike White said, Jason Gilden taking the helm for the Cardinal World North Catholic Trojans. They have a 7-0 lead in the first quarter against Northgate. Westinghouse 12, Carrick 6. That game happening yesterday. That is a final. Central Valley and Montour tied. That's a very good first week game. 7-7 in the first quarter between Central Valley and Montour. Clairton all over California. 64-0. That game just at the half. McKeesport 21, Connellsville 7. Washington 21, Derry nothing. South Fayette all over East Allegheny, shutting them out as a matter of fact at the half, 34-0. Laurel Highlands 21, Elizabeth Forward 14. Fort Cherry 21, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Chargers 14. North Hills shutting out Fox Chapel 6-0. Franklin Regional doing the same to Knock 28-0. Greensburg-Salem trails Gateway 17-10. That game in the second quarter. Hampton 20, Alderdice 8. Highlands 28, Summit Academy 18. Chartiers Valley 20, Hopewell 7. Jefferson Morgan 7, West Green nothing. Norwin 14, Latrobe nothing. Wilkinsburg trails Leechburg actually in the second quarter, 22-14 in that game. Mars has a first quarter lead, 7-0 over Indiana. Mount Pleasant 23, McGuffey 16. Moon and Blackhawk tied at 17. A lot of scoring that game just in the first quarter. Penn Trafford 38, Kiski nothing. Plum has a 28-10 lead over Hempfield. Ringgold 8, Thomas Jefferson 7. That game, pretty good opening round game as well. Union 14, Rochester 6, Freeport 7, Shadyside Academy nothing. No score between Western Beaver and Shenango. That game early on reported in the first quarter by Lee Moan. Seton LaSalle with a 21-0 lead over South Park. That game also in the first quarter. Springdale 21, Sarah Catholic 14. Upper St. Clair with a 3-0 lead at half against the Penn Hills Indians. West Allegheny is doubling up Newcastle 28-14. Deer Lakes 20, West Shamokin 6. Woodland Hills shutting out Peters Township 34-0. That is your halftime scoreboard, courtesy of the MSA Sports Network. Our halftime score. The visiting Central Catholic Vikings are leading the homestanding Bethel Park Blackhawks by the score of 7-6. Central Catholic had the only score in the first quarter. It was a 91-yard touchdown run by Ronnie Jones. Jones went off the left tackle at the 3:45 mark and outraced everybody on the Bethel Park defense to the end zone. Extra point was good. And at the end of the first quarter, Central Catholic had a 7-0 lead over Bethel Park. But a big turnover late in that first quarter by Central Catholic, as it looked like they were driving to go up 2 scores deep in Bethel Park's territory. They fumbled the football. Bethel Park, a couple of drives later, late in the first half, they score on a 29-yard touchdown pass from Levi Mathena to Jake Dixon after a semi-blocked punt, deflected punt, I guess you would say. They took over at Central Catholic's 29-yard line. It was a one-play, 29-yard drive. However, the extra point was no good, and that's where we stand at the half. Central Catholic 7, Bethel Park 6.
I abandoned you, Steve Nagler, and I apologize without telling you. I'm the worst kind of...
I got the pat on the back.
I'm the worst kind of broadcast partner you could have. 7-6, Vikings on top. We want to take another break. We will jump out and we'll come back with the second half kickoff with Dandy on opening night. Around the WPIAL, we're at Blackhawk Stadium. Central 7, Bethel 6. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2015 right here on the MSA Sports Network.
MSASports.net is the place to click on every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest MSA Sports Top 10 football rankings.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top 4 WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
Also on Thursday, we preview the college football slate in the region for the upcoming weekend, then we recap those games each and every Sunday.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
Anytime, anywhere, always there this fall with the MSA Sports Network at MSASports.net.
No regrets.
You may have some regrets in life, but not with Erie Insurance. We'll treat you fairly and won't penalize you for a mishap. And we have great rates. So instead of regrets, get to know Erie. See for yourself why more than 90% of Erie customers stay with us year after year. Get a quote today.
Call the Mills Agency, servicing Greensburg, Ligonier, and Jeanette. 724-834-3015.
Erie Insurance.
Attention business owners and marketing managers. MSA Sports Network offers a cost-effective way to expand your advertising efforts, increase your bottom line, and promote your brand and services in the communities you serve. Offering you flexible marketing plans with numerous multimedia combinations, the ability to target your local customers within a 5 to 10 mile radius of your business, industry exclusivity, available via sport, season, community, or region, and outstanding return on investment with all MSA Sports sponsorship opportunities. MSA Sports Network represents the most efficient and effective ad placement in the broadcast industry. To learn more about advertising opportunities on the MSA Sports Network, contact Glenn Anderson at 412-362-2000, extension 2225, or ganderson@msa.com.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium, we get set for the start of quarter number 3. 7-6 Central Catholic on top, and what has been a great football game, tremendously played on both sides, but especially defensively for both of these football clubs. And Steve, I think coming into this game, everybody around the WPIAL would have said, yes, the Central Catholic Vikings are a contender for a WPIAL championship in Quad A, maybe even a favorite for that championship. But I'll tell you what, Bethel Park just in the first half of football has served notice to other teams around the WPIAL. They're going to make quite a lot of noise this year as well.
This team has grown up immensely from when we saw them in the first week last year. It was a no contest last year. They just couldn't really get out of their way offensively. They couldn't.
I think they got one first down in that football game.
Yeah, I mean, they were constantly losing yardage and couldn't keep the front four of Central Catholic out of the backfield. And this game has been completely different. No, they don't have a ton of yards, 97 yards in the first half, but boy, they have ripped off some nice gains and have looked so much better than they did in week 1 of 2014. I think a lot of that is one extra year for quarterback Levi Matheny under his belt. He looks, pretty solid back there, very poised, but boy, that offensive line has really grown up and looks so much more dominant, or it could be a very dominant season for them here in 2015.
Rachi puts it on the tee at the near hash for the Vikings, who kick it away to the Blackhawks. Well, Derek Davis and Murphy back deep for Bethel Park. And again, you look to that opening coin toss win by Jeff Matheny, and deferring to the second half. They'll get the football here, trailing by a point as we get second half action underway. Roche on the run up, and he'll send it right down this near hash. It'll take a bounce at the 4. Murphy touched his foot back in the end zone. A little miscommunication there between Murphy and Davis about who was supposed to take that football. In a touchback, Hawks will get it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Well, Murphy got pretty lucky there as the ball kind of bounced forward right to the goal line, and once Murphy had picked up that football, he was fortunate his right foot was in the end zone.
Matheny comes to the huddle on 1st and 10 from the 20. Football right between the hashes. Hawks work from left to right. You could see that if you're watching the video, which we are streaming on the MSA Sports Network, and will pop up on YouTube under the MSA Sports video channel sometime this holiday weekend. 1st and 10. Murphy takes the handoff, and he'll go nowhere. And then, boy, very late hit, but no flag on the play. It looked like a hawk kind of running in there and jumping on the pile. Tonight's game, by the way, brought to you by Progress. First in Turf, one of the proud sponsors of WPIAL football on the MSA Sports Network, as we get third quarter action underway in a 1-point game. 7-6, 11:34 to play. 2nd and 10 for the Hawks from their own 20-yard line. Matheny under center. I formation. Murphy dots that eye. Movement up front, and again, Matheny, I think, to the hard count. He picks his spots with it, Steve. Are they going to say false start?
Yeah,
yes, they will.
I think what
maybe hard counted.
He did well. He was able to get some movement defensively, but at the same time, Joseph Dietz, the left guard, moved pre-snap, so they will step it off 5 yards in the direction of Bethel Park.
make it 2nd and 15. Hand this ball off to Murphy. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, before he is absolutely swarmed over by C.J. Thorpe. Nico Thorpe's younger brother, 6'5", 305 pounds is C.J. Thorpe. First time we've really talked about him in this football game, but this kid's a special player. Nico, of course, a fantastic linebacker for the Central Catholic Vikings. Now
great
playing
basketball
at,
player, too.
Where is he playing? He's playing at, it'll come to me. He's starting as a sophomore. Matheny in the gun on 3rd and long here. And he will handle a little draw play here from Murphy. And he'll get nothing as again it's Thorpe sniffing it out. And Thorpe will drop Murphy for a loss of 3. Set up a 4th down and long for the Hawks. They go backward on their opening drive here in period number 3.
Boy, and Sam, you get the feeling that head coach Terry Totten got into the face of the defensive linemen at halftime. Really challenged them, I think, as there were times that they were dominated at the line of scrimmage. Not that time in that first drive.
Matheny gets this away from his 1-yard line, and he pounds it. It'll bounce at the Central 46 and then be down at the Central 45. Well, they'll give him a benefit of the doubt there. Mark it at the 40. We got one official at the near. Okay, now they'll get it out in front of the 45. Very close to the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Vikings. They've got great field position to start their first drive of quarter number 3. Football on the near hash. It will be Fisher. Fordham. That was driving me crazy. Nico Thorpe starting as a sophomore up at Fordham. At linebacker. A little handoff here to Ronnie Jones. Jones will bounce it to the far and turn the corner into Bethel Park territory and down to the 45-yard line for a gain of 9 yards. Matheny on the tackle, but a positive run on 1st down will set up a 2nd and 1 for the Vikings, leading by 1, 7-6.
Oh, he got such a good block by Rashad Wheeler, the tight end, who just kind of strung out his counterpart, allowed Jones to cut inside.
Here's Jones again, takes the handoff, now trying to come to the near, loses the football, and Gunnar Farrat will pounce on it for the Vikings, way back in Central territory at the 47-yard line. The Vikings have put it on the turf a few times here tonight. That time they dodged the bullet. Heads up play by Farrat to come back and get that ball. They'll set up a 3rd and 8 for the Vikings back at their own 48.
3rd fumble of this evening. They've lost one of them. They're fortunate to get that one back. Good job by Gunnar Farrat to beat Johnny on the spot.
Emmanuel, the sidecar for Fisher. 3 receivers to the far boundary. Ron George to the near. On 3rd and 8. And we're going to get a flag on the play. This is going to be against Central Catholic, and I think that was about Ron George not covering up the tackle, Steve Nigg.
Well, he moved, actually. He jumped before the ball was snapped. A little flinch, I should say. And now instead of 3rd and 8, it's going to be 3rd and 13.
8.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Central 7, Bethel Park 6.
Watch for another possible throwback screen here on 3rd and 13.
3 to the far. Emmanuel, the sidecar for the sophomore Fisher, takes the snap, looks near. Now he's going to tuck it and run straight ahead. And he's got running room, and he's out to the midfield stripe before he's bottled up there. And he's going to make it a 4th and 5, maybe 4th and 5.5. Andrews on a nice open field tackle, squares him up right at the midfield stripe, and the Vikings will punt this football away.
Well, it wasn't a throwback screen. What they were trying to run was a circle route. Vinny Emmanuel coming out of the backfield as they sent 3 wideouts to the right side, and they wanted to kind of isolate Emmanuel on a linebacker, but it was good coverage defensively by Bethel Park.
Davis waits for the kick at his own 11-yard line. Snap a little low, able to gather it off the turf and punt it away, and a nice job there by the kicker Ben DiSabato to keep that alive. And now Davis will pick it up and move forward out to the 20-yard line. So DiSabato avoids disaster, and then Davis, the heads-up play Gets the Hawks out over the 20 to the 21. 1st and 10 there for Bethel Park, trailing by 1. Football on the far hash in a 1-point game. Matheny brings Bethel Park out of the huddle. 2 receivers near, including Dixon in the slot to the near side. 2 receivers to the far. Matheny under center. Play clock down to 4. He'll get it off. And a miscommunication there. And Matheny's just going to have to tuck it and go. He looked like he wanted to turn it and hand that football off to Taryn Murphy, but Murphy looked like he was getting ready to block for a pass play.
Yeah, he went the other way. And I don't know if it was going to be, if he thought it was going to be a pass play or if he thought it was going to be a dive right. But Matheny, who is trying to communicate to Murphy that he did the wrong thing, Murphy went the other way.
So a loss of 2 sets up a 2nd and 12. Mark the football back at the 19. I formation behind Matheny. 1 receiver near. Matheny will turn. Hand this ball to the second back, and it's Murphy. He's going to be hit and dropped for a loss by Bryson Garner. Back at the 15, the loss is 4. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 16. It was actually Braxton Swan on the tackle for Central Catholic.
Taryn Murphy has carried the ball 4 times here in the 3rd quarter. He has lost 7 yards.
This is more the Viking defense that we saw last year at CMU. 3rd and long here for the Hawks. 6 minutes on a rolling clock to play here in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to the near side. Murphy the sidecar for Matheny. Matheny has time, sets up, fires downfield, and he had a man out at the 28-yard line. Unable to hang on was Chandler Dietz. And the Hawks will be forced to punt it away.
Another pass that went right through the wickets of a Bethel Park Blackhawk wide receiver. There's been a few of those that have happened tonight. Not really doing a lot to help out their senior quarterback.
Jones and Hamlin back deep. Matheny's punt. Low line drive and a little spin. Jones has it bounce off his shoulder pads, loose in the middle of the football field. And boy, oh boy, how about the closing speed of Ronnie Jones to get back on the football? It bounced 10 yards out in front of him. And he pounces on the hot potato at the 48-yard line of Central Catholic. And the Vikings avoid yet another turnover.
Boy, Ronnie Jones has to really turn up his focus. It's the 2nd time in the last couple of minutes of this football game that he's put the ball on the carpet. Got away with it both times.
It's a very, very hot, very, very humid night here in week 1 of 2015.
And kudos to the training staff. We talked about it pregame that they're going to have to play a really prominent role. When you have heat like this and the humidity in the air, we have not seen anybody go down with cramps to this point.
Fisher at quarterback, 3 receivers to the near, including Farrat in the slot. Now he'll motion back toward the formation, actually go behind the formation. They'll give the football straight ahead to Vinny Emanuel. He'll get into Bethel Park territory, a short gain of about 3 to the 49, set up a 2nd down and 7. Tackled on the play very nicely by Christian Frazier.
Emanuel carry. 3-yard gain will bring up a 2nd down and 7 for Vikings.
5:14 on a rolling clock. Fisher again, 3 receivers near. New sidecar is Jones on 2nd and 7. He'll get the handoff, try to come to the near side, turn the corner, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, 1st down and more, bounces it outside 40, 30, 25, and he's finally chased out of bounds in Bethel Park territory at the 25-yard line. Taylor on the play defensively, but Ronnie Jones, he's tried to bounce it to this side a couple of times tonight. Stephen had no success whatsoever that time. He finds the gaping hole.
Oh, and he ran right out of a tackle by sure tackling Jacob Dixon. He's a guy that doesn't miss many, but the speed and the strength of Ronnie Jones allowed him to get to the sidelines and gain 24 yards on that run.
1st and 10 at the Bethel Park 25. Vikings trying to build on a 1-point lead. Inside 5 minutes to play, third period. Emmanuel now the sidecar to the left of Fisher. He'll take the handoff and head back to the right, and he will be stopped in his tracks as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. And a great job by Sean Davis, senior member of the front four for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Second and 10 for the Vikes. Jones checks back in as Terry Totten is starting to go play-by-play with that sidecar. Fisher in the gun, 2 receivers near. And this will be Jones, straight ahead. Pulls his way forward for 5, down to the 20-yard line. Pushing in 7 between Levi Matheny and C.J. Thorpe at the end of that play. You don't see many quarterbacks, in this case he's playing linebacker, getting involved with 300-pound young fellows in the pushing and shoving area, Steve Nagy. Sets up the 3rd and 5. Jones remains there as the sidecar for Fisher. 2 to the near, 1 to the far. Jones does not take the handoff as Fisher will keep it himself. He'll get down near that lead stick before he's dragged down. Dixon.
He got a really good spot, too, at the end of that play. I thought maybe he got tackled about a half-yard short of that 15-yard line, but they said he made it to the 15, and it's going to give them a first down.
1st and 10 now from the 15 for the Vikings, driving here. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play in period number 3. Fisher under center. Jones, the deep back, in a broken eye. Jones takes the handoff, looking to get outside, looking to turn the corner, breaks a tackle at the 20. Now gets ahead down to the 10-yard line. But Levi Matheny right at the 10, a great ankle tackle. Looked like Jones was gone, but good closing speed and then a great tackle by Levi Matheny.
It was a really good tackle, and I agree with you. If Matheny doesn't make that shoestring tackle, Jones with the quick feet probably gets himself in the end zone.
2nd down and a short 5 for the Vikes. Inside 3 minutes to play at 2:45. And taking the handoff this time will be, no, again, the good fake by the sophomore. Fisher keeps it, goes right side, and went inside the 10, down to about the 7. Let's give him 3. Set up a 3rd down, about a yard and a half.
A little zone read shown by Central Catholic. It's the 8th run of the evening by Troy Fisher. He's got 11 yards.
Now they'll get big and they'll get tight. In there at fullback, David Adams. Fisher on 3rd and short, gives to Emmanuel. Tries to bounce to the right, and he finds himself buried under Bethel Park Blackhawks. He'll be short of the stick. He might have even lost half a yard right there. Good job defensively by Christian Frazier.
It's interesting that they go with Emmanuel, who's much smaller of a back than Ronnie Jones. Ronnie Jones probably carries about 20-25 pounds more than Emmanuel. And now they have a decision to make, because it's now 4th and 2 at the Bethel Park 7-yard line.
Timeout called by Terry Totten to talk it over. Gives us a chance to say we are glad to welcome back the Progress Athlete of the Month this school year during turf sports seasons. Progress will once again be recognizing a monthly Athlete of the Week this fall in each of the following sports: football, boys soccer, girls soccer. Look for more details on this after the holiday weekend on our website at www.msasports.net. If you have a suggestion for who should be the Athlete of the Month, the Progress Athlete of the Month, let us know at info@msasports.net. We're video streaming this game. We'll video stream at least one game each week throughout this WPIAL football season. Just Slevo in the house tonight. She's been standing the whole time in the press box that is currently, 113 degrees, Stephen?
At least. Sam's too modest to tell you, but coming up after the game, it's the WPIL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands from the MSA Sports Control Center. All the scores from Week 1 and all of the 2015 W football season Plus, Bob Orquist and Sammy Hall joined Don on the round table. Don't miss the WPIL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
1:47 to play in the third. Vikings by 1, and it certainly looks like they're about to go for it here on fourth. Yeah, it looks like a full 2, very close to a full 2 yards at the Bethel Park 12.5-yard line. Fisher in the gun. Sidecar is Jones. Jones takes the handoff, and he's not going to get it, Steve Nagel. Bethel Park sniffs it out. Tremendous penetration by James Gamitter. And Gamitter and the Hawks defense stand up tall, and they stop Central Catholic deep in Bethel territory. They take over on downs.
Well, 2 things happened on that play, Sam. First of all, the ball was sitting on the far right hash, which I think for Terry Totten and his coaching crew probably took out the possibility of even trying or attempting a field goal. It's a very tough angle. Second of all, excellent interior defense by Bethel Park defensively. You talked about Gamitter. Also, Chris Pauley doing a good job of getting penetration and stopping Jones on that 4th down try.
1:40 to play in the third. It remains a 1-point lead for the Vikings. Hawks take over. 1st and 10 through 12. Matheny will keep it himself, and he is not going to get back to the 5-yard line. He lost on the play. Well, he will get to right to the 5-yard line. Going to set up a 2nd and 12 for the Hawks, and for everything they had going positive offensively in the first half, Steve, there's been nothing for them here in period number 3.
No, and they really need to find a way to grind out a couple of first downs and change this field position. Right now, if they can't get a first down and they're in 2nd and 12 scenario here, they're going to have to punt the ball from their own end zone.
Matheny in the gun, 2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. He's going to sidecar Murphy. And we're going to get a whistle here. Right as the ball is snapped, and then well after the whistle, bodies flying everywhere, including Levi Matheny's.
C.J. Thorpe did not hear the whistle being blown and put a pretty good lick on Matheny. Actually, that wasn't C.J. Thorpe either. That was C.J. Thorpe, I should say.
And he's going to go off missing a shoe. It was the play clock violation against the Hawks. They march that football all the way back to the 2.5-yard line on the half the distance penalty. And now some confusion again, as Bethel Park doesn't seem to know who's supposed to be in the game. Now Davis will come to the near sideline. As checking in is Jared Linger. Dietz to the near boundary. Matheny waits for the snap in his own end zone. Fires, caught in the end zone by Murphy. Breaks a tackle with the 2, stays on his feet, and gets out to about the 4-yard line. Ronnie George got a good pop on Murphy right at the 1. A nice job to spin, keep his feet, and to get out very close to the 5. But still a 3rd and long situation for Bethel Park.
And Bethel Park will not have to run a play here if they don't want to at the end of this 3rd quarter. I have a feeling like they're going to want this quarter to end and talk about things before the 4th quarter begins on this 3rd and long.
Indeed they will. Play clock at 13, game clock at 9. That'll wind down. That'll end period number 3. Central Catholic leads by a point, 7-6. Come back for what we hope is a thrilling finish on the opening week of 2015 WPIAL football, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Hi, this is Don Rebel inviting you to log on each Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for This Week in the WPIAL, only here on the MSA Sports Network. Join me along with other MSA Sports members each week as we talk to head coaches around District 7, plus run down all the high school football action and preview the top games for the upcoming weekend. That's This Week in the WPIAL, Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium, Steve Nagler alongside as we get set to start period number 4. Central Catholic clinging to that 1-point lead, 7-6. Bethel Park facing a 3rd down and 13 deep in their own territory. Football between the 4 and 5 yard line. Huge play coming up here for the Hawks.
Oh, it really is. If they're able to get the 13 yards needed for the first down, it takes a lot of pressure off this Bethel Park team. If Central Catholic is able to stop them on 3rd down, they're going to get the football back in excellent starting field position on their next drive.
Matheny in the gun. 2 receivers near. He's got a sidecar as well. Straight drop to throw. Now he'll tuck it and try to move ahead. Out to the 5-10, still on his feet. Can he get there? No, he's going to be shoved out of bounds about a yard shy. That lead stick as he gets out right to the 15. He's going to be 2 yards shy. Matheny goes all the way to the far concession stand here. Now makes his way back to the field. They'll mark him right at the 15.
And now we have some cramping going on as one of the Central Catholic Vikings is down. It's like a left knee or left cramp to his, yeah.
We got a Hawk here and a Hawk on the far.
Right.
And a Viking in the back.
Yep, and it looks like it's all cramping. So the heat and humidity taking its toll. We'll probably see more of that as we head through the rest of this 4th quarter.
I recall us getting the official timeout for the hydration during periods 1 and 2. I don't recall it happening. Usually it's around that 4-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. I don't recall it happening in this game.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is both legs for the Bethel Park Blackhawks, who's at the 20-yard line. 7-6 Central on top. Matheny ends up about 2 yards shy of the lead stick, and Bethel Park will get set to punt it away. And boy, all of these kids right now, it has been a long, hot night at Bethel Park's Blackhawk Stadium. And it's like all of a sudden, Steve, you mentioned it actually a little bit earlier on in the 3rd quarter, that it was remarkable that we hadn't seen more of this all night, and then boom, one play, and it happens all over the football field.
Well, and 2 of the Bethel Park players that are cramping, one is Jake Dixon, the other is Charlie Davis. Charlie Davis is on the ground right now on his sideline, and they're actually stretching out both calves, both on his right and left leg. It's one of those nights that you almost cannot drink enough. I mean, there's no possible way that you can stay hydrated playing this sport over the length of time that they play it into the 4th quarter. And again, once those cramps happen, you are officially dehydrated. You can drink as much water as you can, and they certainly encourage it. But the guys that are already cramping are probably going to be dealing with those cramps the rest of this football game. There's still 11 minutes and 50 seconds to go. We're just one play into this 4th quarter.
Hawks get set to punt eventually. Gives us a chance to remind you that some of the top athletes in the WPIAL are featured every week on the MSA Sports Center stage. You can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall, www.msasports.net. Check out which athletes we're talking to. Plus, our weekly game lights are also featured here on the MSA Sports Network. And also on that page, you'll find the video of this football game archived at some point over the long Labor Day weekend. And we are live streaming this this game right now, thanks to the multi-talented and beautiful Jess Levo in Blackhawk Stadium. Everybody has made their way at least to a sideline as the cramping continues for many of these folks.
Well, it looks like a little bit more of a serious injury to Chandler Dietz. As, boy, his cramping, he could barely even be helped off the football field.
One trainer per leg for Chandler Dietz, and they're just stretching him out on the track here in Blackhawk Stadium. Matheny lines up to get set to punt this football away. Hamlin and Jones back deep for Central Catholic. They wait at their own 46-yard line.
Well, the good news for Bethel Park is that even though they didn't get the first down, Matheny was able to gain 11 of the 13 yards needed, and now the ball's sitting on their own 15-yard line as opposed to their own 4-yard line. So it affords them a little bit more room, and will give them a little bit of a break punting here.
He'll punt from the far hash. His heels on the 1-yard line as he waits for the snap. It's a good one. He gets the left-footed punt out of there. This is probably the shortest punt of the night, and it'll take a Central bounce and be down at the Bethel Park 44-yard line. Great play by Taryn Murphy to reach up and swat that ball, because it was going back the other way, and it was going back the other way hard, Steve.
Yeah, it was. If he hadn't gotten his hand on that football that was going back the other way, the ball would have probably ended up more around the 35-yard line. So Taryn Murphy kind of quickly adjusting to that bounce, getting his hand on the football, and Central Catholic will start on Bethel Park's 44-yard line.
Football on the far hash. Vikings come from the sideline straight out over the football, leading by a point, 7-6, 11:39 remaining in regulation. We saw senior Mike Navarro for one, possibly two plays in this football game at quarterback. Fisher, the sophomore, has been there the rest of the night for Terry Totten. Two receivers to the near, and this will be Fisher on the play-action fake, looking to throw down the near hash. Looking for Bryson Garner. Garner turned around, but able to close on the football again. Charlie Davis. Well, I don't think he got his head around, but he timed it perfectly as he swats it away as Garner waited for it inside the 10. It'll set up 2nd and 10.
Oh, smart play by the offensive think tank of the Central Catholic Vikings. They noticed that Charlie Davis was being attended to because of cramps. On the first play, they go deep against Davis, and Bryson Garner had him beat, but the throw was just a little bit late coming out of the hands of the sophomore quarterback, Troy Fisher.
14-14, Montour in Central Valley, and a dandy. And here's Emmanuel on the handoff. Comes to the near. He's got positive yardage. As he gets inside the Bethel Park 40 to the 38. What do you see, a flag on the play, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Holding against the Vikings.
It happened 5 yards down the football field. It's going to negate the 6-yard gain, and it's going to result in a 2nd down and 15-yard scenario for the Vikings.
Flag there at the Hawk 39. They'll march it off back to the Hawk 49. And 2nd down again for the Central Catholic Vikings. Clairton, 72, California 0. The Bears going to be the real deal again all this year. I don't think they're going to lose a football game, and I'm very comfortable saying that here in week 1. Fisher in the gun on 2nd and long for the Vikings from the Bethel Park 49. He's got plenty of time here. Steps up and fires over the middle of the football field, looking for Gunnar Farad at the Bethel Park 36. He cannot hang on, pass a little bit behind him. Jeremy Wooderick on the play defensively for Bethel Park. 3rd and long coming up for the Vikings.
That's a ball Farad needs to help his sophomore quarterback out with. He's got to come down with that football field. Yes, a little bit behind him, but he got both hands on that football. Again, a little bit late. He's Central Catholic, or these receivers at times getting their hands up just a little bit late.
Big play here. And Fisher has time again, this time down the seam. Trying to find Gunnar Farad, overthrows him.
Oh, and a late flag, and this is going to be a big call as Jake Dixon hit Troy Fisher up towards the helmet. And I think it's the right call. But 15 yards is going to put the football right around the first down marker.
That is a huge call. Hawks about to get the football back, trailing by a point. And instead, let's see, is that carry an automatic first down with it?
It does not, but
it's going to be enough.
3rd down and 15. Yep. It's going to be, it is going to be enough for the first down.
Right to the lead stick. Wow, huge change in this football game right now. Matheny will slide out here with 3 receivers on the near side, and he'll be manned up against Bryson Garner. Now this will be Ron Emanuel. Keeps the football. He's got positive yardage inside the 30 all the way down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. And he's got another Central Catholic first down, and now that penalty gets even bigger.
Yeah, it really does. I think it just bolstered the Central Catholic. It just gave them some confidence as they were able to continue on with this drive.
First and 10 from the 23. Fisher in the gun. Looking to fade into the end zone here. Going up to make the catch in the end zone for the touchdown. Is that Ron George or Ron Jones? Ronnie Jones who hauls it in. Perfectly thrown football. And Jones times his leap perfectly, and the Vikings extend their lead to 13-6.
What a great pass by the sophomore, Troy Fisher. Threw the ball with a lot of hang time, allowing Jones to run underneath that football. He made a great catch over the outstretched arms of Taryn Murphy.
Vikings look to tack on the extra point. And the kick is up. The kick is good, and indeed they do. The Vikings extend their lead off the right foot of Jake Rashi. And it is 14-6, an 8-point lead for Central Catholic with 10 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in regulation. We'll take a break and come back. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2015, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
14-6, Central on top, 10.5 to play in period number 4. Great toss and catch between Fisher and Ronnie Jones. The latest score in his football game. Final scores now popping up around the WPIAL on opening night. Rachi on to kick it away. Murphy and Davis back deep. And this ball's going to go to the far side. And a touchback there. I think that was Chandler Dietz who went back into the end zone. And it'll be first down and 10 for the Bethel Park Blackhawks, now trailing 14-6. And they have generated little in the way of offense in the second half.
Yeah, after being challenged by Terry Totten at halftime, this defense has really stepped up and played with a lot more fight at the line of scrimmage. They've really dominated the line of scrimmage here in the second half.
First and 10 from the 20. Football right between the hashes. Hawks work from right to left. With Derrick to the near boundary, along with Dixon and John Dolino. And they'll screen it to Dolino near side. He'll be chopped down by Gunnar Farrat right at the 20.
Wow, what a hit by Farrat going low, which protects himself. And I think going low is the type of tackle that is going to create a lot of turnovers more often than not. Delano did a good job of holding on to that football.
We'll check out here as Frazier comes in on 2nd and 10 for the Hawks. We've just not found anything here in half number 2. Matheny under center. Cram walked the fullback behind him to the far boundary. Play action fake. Matheny to throw. He's got a wide open receiver. The catch is made on the run. Far down. There goes Charlie Davis inside the 30, and Davis all the way to the Central Catholic 23-yard line. A big-time play for the Hawks that they desperately needed to get back in this football game, Steve Morgan.
57 yards on the pitch and catch from Matheny to Davis. Couldn't have come at a better time for a struggling Bethel Park offense. Now they're in business right around the 23-yard line of Central Catholic.
An official timeout here. Way over there is that Davis cramping up again.
Yeah, and I think Davis was impacted by those cramps. I think he would have had a really good shot at making the end zone, but he just kind of slowed down by the cramping.
And they will tend to him on the far sideline. Official timeout where they do it. It will be 1st and 10 at the Central 23 for the Hawks. And you go back to that pass and catch. That thing was on a rope, Steve Nagler. Davis, I didn't think was going to be able to make the catch. A tremendous job to get both hands on that football, kind of twisted his body in the air as that thing was whizzing by him and able to hang on and then right himself, get going downfield. But as you mentioned, maybe the cramping jumped up on him.
Levi Matheny had 56 yards of total passing offense. Up to that throw, he had 57 on that one throw. He's now 9 of 19 for 113 yards and a touchdown.
Frazier over Avella, 52-0. That's a final. Avonworth leads Chartiers Houston now 35-7. Fort Cherry and Olchin, a good one, 21-14. Rangers on top there. Springdale and Sarah Catholic in a good football game, 21-14. Dynamos. South Fayette, they don't have Brett Brumbaugh, but they're still a very, very good football team. That's a pretty solid East Allegheny Wildcat club, 41-0. South Fayette on top there. Steel Valley rolls Carleton 56-6. That's a final.
Montour has broken the tie against Central Valley. They kick a field goal, so they're in the fourth quarter there. They now lead 17-14.
Mount Lebanon and Quad A down here in the Southeastern Conference. Expect that Steve and I will see a lot of the SEC this year. 48-14. They beat Cannon Mac as the Big Macs open the brand new turf down at Big Mac Stadium. Upper St. Clair 10, Penn Hill 0 is the latest score I have just down around 19. Steve, is that confirmed by you?
Yeah, that's what I have.
1st and 10 for the Hawks as Davis gets some help to come back to the near sideline. A huge loss for Bethel Park. We'll see how long he has to remain out of this football game. He's going to get rid of this right headphone. Maybe that will help me out. Oh, yeah, that's helping me tremendously. Should have done that about a half ago. Matheny under center on 1st and 10 from the Viking 23. Football on the far hash. Murphy the deep back. 2 receivers to the far, and Murphy takes the handoff. Picks his way forward. He's got room inside the 20. Still on his feet. 15. And down inside the 15 near the 12-yard line. Very close to another first down for Bethel Park. Nice, nifty run. And some sweet moves from Taryn Murphy.
Well, there's a couple of tackles he stepped right out of and has that shiftiness like Barry Sanders used to for the Detroit Lions. Right? Just a start and stop, kind of a jitterbug type of move at times. Really nice.
Give him 10. He gets another first down for Bethel Park. And we're going to get a timeout. No, we're not going to get a timeout. What do we do? Just get a reset? Oh, put the play clock back up to 25. Never reset the play clock after the move the chains. So 1st and 10. Here comes Murphy again to the near side. Still on his feet. Inside the 5. Murphy to the end zone. Touchdown Bethel Park. And the Hawks answer and pull to within 2. It's 14-12. Taryn Murphy takes it in.
What a great seal block on the left side as Murphy came off tackle and right over James Gamitter. Gemitter really kind of clamping down on that left side, leaving Murphy with a ton of running room, and he made good on it, the speed to get into the end zone. Now Bethel Park will definitely go for 2 points here.
I agree with you. They are definitely going to go for 2. I'm not sure that they have to go for 2. There's still 9 minutes left in this football game.
Well, I think with as good as the Central Catholic defense is, I think Jeff Matheny thinks this might be his best chance to tie this one up.
Matheny with the sidecar, motions a receiver Delano to the near side. He'll roll near side, fire down to the goal line. Delano had it and dropped it. He was hit right at the goal line defensively by DeMar Hamlin. And it'll fall incomplete. A 2-point lead remains intact for the Central Catholic Vikings. 14-12, but still 9:07 to play in regulation. Do we keep it here, Steve, or do we need a break?
No, we'll keep it here.
We'll keep it here. You got some scores, or do you have a score from the MLB over there?
I was trying to get that as we were kind of looking things up. Pirates in the bottom of the 5th inning. They're shutting out the St. Louis Cardinals 4-0 behind another great start for Jay Happ. So not a good series for the Pirates against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Second
what else
time
is
this
new?
year that they, I think, went into a series against the Brewers thinking, oh, this will be easy. Looking forward to the next series against the Cardinals and see if they can recover again the way they did the first time. 14-12 here, a great football game from Blackhawk Stadium on opening night in the WPIAL on the MSA Sports Network. I keep trying to find Charlie Davis. And here he comes. He is hydrating, but he is still limping. Let's see how close he is to re-entering this football game. Look at a high five from Jake Dixon.
Well, that's a tough loss. If he can't come into this football game defensively, we've really chronicled how he has been all over the football field. And he's talking to Vinny Emanuel. I think he just gave the nod, like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to be back into this football game.
Halligan on the run up. High, short kick. Going to bounce it to 20. And it'll be picked up at the 15-yard line by Jones. Straight up the field goes Ronnie Jones into the open field. Jones to the midfield stripe. Jones to the near hash. Jones to the 20, and he's gone. Ronnie Jones returns the kickoff 85 yards for a touchdown and pushes the lead right back up for the Central Catholic Vikings, 20-12.
He did that in 9 seconds off the clock. He can flat out fly, and when he busted a tackle right around the 33-yard line, there was nobody that was going to catch Ronnie Jones. He is in the end zone for another big play. That time 85 yards on the return. There's a Bethel Park Blackhawk injured right around the 20-yard line. And boy, what a huge turn of events in this football game. Big response by the Central Catholic Vikings.
We talked about their playmakers, their Division I talent, and it has shown itself here tonight. Now an 8-point lead and a chance for the first time all night, Steve, here with the extra point to make it more than a one-possession game.
Oh, and I like Levi Matheny's call to go for 2, but this is where it hurts you because he did not go and kick the extra point. An extra point here, had they kicked the extra point, it would they'd still only be down
by
8 points, which would be 1 score. Now, if Central Catholic is able to kick the extra point here, they do go up 2 scores. What an electrifying player Ronnie Jones is.
A 91-yard touchdown run in the first quarter and an 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown here with inside 9 minutes to play in regulation. Jones with a pair of huge touchdowns for Central Catholic on the road in week 1. And the Vikings, with an extra point here, can extend their lead to 21-12. A 9-point lead with 8:51 to play, but continuing to be tended to on the field, now helped up. So good news, able to get up under his own power is Brendan Todd. And he'll be helped to the sideline by his teammates.
2 touchdowns in 9 seconds scored in this football game. right after the 13-yard touchdown run by Taryn Murphy. Ron Jones returns the corresponding kickoff. Boy, he is exciting to watch when he breaks into the open field.
Yeah, the Hawks had the kicker, the safety back on the play, and it was just like you had no chance. There was no angle to take. Because Jones, when he put on the burst, is just whoosh. Rachi on to trying to make it a two-possession game. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And indeed, a 9-point lead now for Central Catholic with 8:51 to play, 21-12. The Vikings on top. We'll take a break. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2015, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium here, I'm gonna help you, Jess Levo. Here's what's happened. I can see Jess Levo. She's about to pass out from the heat. Jess Levo here on the video. We are video streaming this game on the MSA Sports Network. The door closed up. That stopped the breeze. I just saved your life, Jess Levo. You owe me. I shut the door because 21-12. With 8:51 to play, the Vikes have to kick it back to the Hawks, but now a 9-point lead for Central Catholic. Rachi has it on the tee at the 40. And on the run-up, he will kick this ball high to the far. Taken inside the 5-yard line. And still on his feet is Doleno. And he'll get out to the 18-yard line before he's bottled up.
Well, things change a little bit now that they're down a couple of scores. Bethel Park is going to have to be a little bit more aggressive in their play calling. Have to look downfield a little bit more. Probably throw the ball a little bit more. They don't have a whole lot of time left in this football game. Just 8:44 to go. But certainly enough time to come back in this football game.
Matheny has been hot and cold in this game. He's had spots where he's looked fantastic, and then other times when he's been off the mark, he's had a few dropped balls in this game as well. Dixon comes to the near. 3 receivers to the near, including Delano and Jeremy Waderick. Davis not in the football game right now. Murphy the sidecar from Matheny on 1st and 10 from his own 19. Murphy takes the handoff, and he's wrapped up in the backfield by C.J. Thorpe. Back at the 16-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 3 to set up 2nd down at 13.
Teron Murphy now has run the ball 6 times in the second half for 1 yard.
They lost Charlie Davis again. 2nd and long for the Hawks, trailing by 9. Clock continues to roll. 8:07 to play in regulation. 2 backs, pair of sidecars. Now they'll motion Murphy to the far side. Low snap. Matheny able to get down and grab it. Hits Murphy in the flat far side. Murphy turns it upfield out over the 20. And a positive gain all the way out to the 24-yard line. We'll set up a 3rd and a manageable 5 for the Hawks. They need this first down right here, Steve.
Good play call. They really do need this first down, but a good play call. Not trying to get those 13 yards all at once. Got a chunk of it, just about 8 of the 13, so it brings up a little bit more of a manageable distance here on 3rd down.
Delano will check out. With Derek in the slot to the near. Brendan Todd split wide to the near boundary. I formation, kind of a broken eye behind Matheny. Another crab walk the fullback to the near. Play action fake. Matheny fires near. He's got a receiver out near the 30 and right near the lead stick. Able to haul it in. Steve Nagler says first down for Christian Frazier. Let's see if the official agrees. Indeed he will. That ball very close to the 30. They're going to spot the nose of the football right on the 30. First and 10, Bethel Park. Huge play right there for the Hawks.
Frazier very aware of where he was on that football field. Knew he was within a yard and really did a good job of putting that helmet and those pads very, very low to get that forward lean and that enough yardage.
First and 10 from the 30. Murphy takes the handoff, bounces it outside. He'll get out over the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Forced out of bounds on the play by Braxton Swan. Chase Hawthorne there as well defensively for the Vikings. And Chase Hawthorne gets up walking very gingerly back toward the huddle. Is he going to remain in the football game? No.
3-yard gain, bring up a second down 7 for the Hawks.
I don't know whether he rolled up on his ankle. In any event, he'll be replaced by Shane Farrick for Central Catholic at this near side linebacker spot. Murphy, the lone deep back. Matheny under center on 2nd and 7. 7:21 to play in regulation. Matheny trying to set up a screen for Murphy. And Matheny hit hard as he got that pass out of there. A big lick laid by Kurt Heinisch. Pass a little too tall for Murphy. I'm not sure he was going anywhere anyways because Rashad Wheeler was right there if he did haul it in. Sets up a 3rd and 7.
Another big play for Bethel Park's offense. I feel like now that on this part of the football field, they might be in 4-down scenarios the rest of the way. Down 2 scores and almost halfway through this 4th quarter.
Brandon Johnson checks in. He'll be the sidecar for Matheny. Delano goes in motion from near to far, so you got 3 receivers on that far boundary. Matheny rolls that way, sets up, fires back across his body. Had Delano at the 45, and he couldn't hang on. Well, that has got to be the 5th drop pass we've seen tonight.
Five drops is the count I have. And Delano, yes, again, had to reach back, but couldn't come up with it. And it looks like Matheny might opt to punt here.
4th and 7 from his own 33. 7:10 to play in regulation. Matheny takes the snap and booms it away with that left foot. Garner will watch it bounce. It takes a Hawk bounce inside the 20, inside the 15, and rolls to a dead stop at the 12-yard line of Central Catholic. And now the Hawk defense with the tall task of flag on the play way back out at the Central Catholic 35-yard line. What a big punt there by Matheny, 55 yards, personal foul against Central Catholic. So that'll put them in an even deeper hole.
That'll be half the distance from the 12-yard line, so they're going to start at their own 6 on this drive. Surprised they punted there, down a couple of scores?
I am. Good faith in the defense, though, from Jeff Matheny. I mean, it worked out because you got potential back at the 6-yard line, so it looks like a great decision, especially if you can get a 3 and out and get the football right back.
They still have all 3 timeouts left.
Indeed, the football on the near hash at the 6-yard line for the Vikings.
And Charlie Davis still on the Bethel Park sideline, still suffering from cramps.
Oh, yep. Now trying to eat something. Maybe a protein bar. Here's Fisher on the quarterback keeper, 1st and 10, turns the corner. Fisher's got open space, a 1st down and more all the way out over the 20 to the 22-yard line. Quick snap count, and the Vikings get out of that hole very quickly on a 16-yard run by Troy Fisher, the sophomore.
We got some help on the outside by wide receiver Jake McKee, who got a block downfield that allowed Fisher to gain a few more yards. And the only thing is he stepped out of bounds. If he had to do all over again, he'd probably turn that back into the field of play just to keep the clock running.
1st and 10, right at the 22. Football now on the far hash. Emmanuel takes the handoff, and he'll go straight ahead out over the 25 to the 26. And rolled down there by number 53, Liam Williams, a sophomore. I think that the physicality of this football game and the temperature of this football game has really had a severe effect on the personnel in this football game on both sides of the ball for Bethel Park. When you look at these two roster sizes, Steve, really putting them at a disadvantage.
That's a really good point. Bethel Park, we were stunned for game 1 last year when we got the roster, how few players that Jeff Matheny had access to. It's gotten a little bit better, but still, they are undermanned compared to the Vikings roster.
2nd and 6. Here's Emmanuel again on the crossbuck play. Out over the 35. He's got a first down for Central Catholic. And right now, Bethel Park needs some sort of a break to get back in this football game because the Vikings marching the ball methodically on the ground. 5:51 to play, and they'll roll that clock again as soon as they set these sticks. Mark it at the 37 of Central.
224 yards of rushing offense tonight for Central Catholic.
Fisher back in the gun. The sidecar's Emmanuel. 1st and 10 from the 37. Emmanuel takes the handoff straight ahead and breaks through the initial point of contact out to the 45-yard line. That's another. Give him 8 yards on the run. It'll set up a 2nd down and 2. And right now, it doesn't look like the Hawks have a whole lot left in the bag, Steve.
No, I agree. They look a little bit deflated defensively. And why not? They've been on the field a lot here in the second half.
Again, this is a game that doesn't count in the standings, so if you're Bethel Park, a whole lot of positive to take out of this football game, although you don't want to be the one to try and explain that to Jeff Matheny at the end of this football game. Here's Emmanuel again, this time another first down into Hawk territory, still on his feet, breaking tackles, and wrapped up by Matheny at the Bethel Park 37. Looked like he was down back in the midfield stripe, but he just wouldn't go down, Steve Nagel.
Another nice gain from Vinny Emmanuel. He has really come on here in the second half. 56 of his 87 total yards rushing have come after halftime. He's got 87 yards on 15 carries.
First and 10 from the Hawk 37 now. This drive started back at their own 6-yard line. And it started with this exact play. Fisher runs that quarterback keeper to the left side, turns it up at the hash, and he'll get 9 more.
He's got 29 understated yards on the ground. He has run the ball fairly well, Fisher has. He's also got 42 yards passing to his credit.
James Gemitter's got to come to the near sideline and take a break. Mark Dunlap will go in and give Gemitter a breather. He comes to the near sideline suffering from some severe fatigue. Vikings on 2nd and short. 3 receivers to the near. Emmanuel the sidecar for Fisher. Emmanuel left side. First down and more. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. Emmanuel into the end zone. Touchdown from 28 yards out. And the Vikings extend the lead with 3:25 to play. A 94-yard touchdown drive capped by the Emmanuel 28-yard touchdown run, and it's 27-12.
Well, on that drive, it looked like he was at full speed the entire drive, and it looked like Bethel Park was moving in slow motion. Their defense was just worn down, and it was obvious the entire drive.
Extra point by Rachi is up. Extra point by Rachi is good. And it's 28-12. Remember, at the end of 3, Steve, it was 7-6. We had a 7-6 ball game. I think fatigue became a factor for both of these clubs late in this contest. 28-12. Vikings on top. Don't go anywhere. Wrap things up when we come back. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2015 right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium, Steve Nagler alongside Central Catholic here in this fourth quarter. 3 scores to take a 28-12 lead over the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Hawks will get it back, but now time, their biggest enemy. Delano to the far. No, do my eyes deceive me, or is Davis back out there? Oh, no, that's Murphy in the middle. And Rachi will send it to Delano. He'll take it at the 1. Up over the 5, 10, far hash, still on his feet, 15. And out to about the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 there for Bethel Park, trailing 28-12.
Well, what a cinching drive that was. That drive started at their own 6-yard line, 94 yards covered on that drive, and it happened in pretty big chunks thanks to the feet of Vinny Emanuel.
All
and
on
also,
the ground. Yep.
Yeah, also the feet of Troy Fisher, a couple of nice runs for the quarterback.
Football on the far hash for the Hawks.
Want to remind you here, with 3:18 to go in the fourth quarter, tonight's game brought to you by Progress, first in turf.
Again, personnel issues for Bethel Park is hustling off. Here's Waderick. Todd to the near boundary. Now Delano is the sidecar. Murphy in the slot near side here in a throwing situation for Matheny. Quick hitter. Ball is batted up into the air and then caught out of the air. And hauled in by Tyler Barnott. Barnott snags it out of the sky and advances it for a first down for Bethel Park. That might be their biggest offensive play beside the Charlie Davis catch here in this whole.
It was a really excellent reaction by Tyler Barnott to pluck that ball out of midair.
Now Murphy back in as the sidecar. Delano in the slot to the near. Matheny to throw on 1st and 10 from the 29. Got Barnott. He'll haul it in for a gain of 6 and be ridden out of bounds. Good tackle over there by David Adams. 6'2", 230.
Now Barnott, one of the healthy wide receivers left on this Bethel Park team. They've lost Charlie Davis. They've lost Chandler Dietz. And Barnott, who's a senior, coming in and doing a good job.
Back-to-back catches for Barnott. Now a break for Barnott as Waderick will check back in. Delano in the slot to the near boundary on 2nd and a long 4. Matheny in the gun. Todd wide to the near side. Matheny drops. Now he'll tuck it and move forward. Looking for a block. Instead he'll slide after a gain of about 3.
Well, that was a smart move for his long-term health.
Yeah.
He saw DeMar Hamlin, the 6'1", 195-pound defensive back, coming in looking to lay a lick on the quarterback. And you got to remember that, yeah, you want to get as many yards and fight as much you can here in week 1, but a lot to play for in the remaining weeks when they get into their conference schedules.
Now Delano back to the near along with Todd. Murphy the sidecar for Matheny. On 3rd and 2 to throw. Has time downfield and it's going to be picked off. Interception going to be made by Braxton Swan. And Swan returning the football. Far sideline 40, 30, 20. Down the sideline 10. Still on his feet and wrapped up at the 6-yard line. Braxton Swan A great read and a great break on that football as Matheny tried to force it down this near sideline, and then a huge return. And he'll set up the Vikings 1st and goal with Laundry on the field and bodies on the field all over for the Bethel Park Blackhawks as well. The cramping continues.
Well, we've made a lot of the Central Catholic defense, and they came to play here in the second half. They've really stepped up, but really the unit we have probably talked the least about is this defensive back unit, and it is stellar. Just a great play that time by Braxton Swan. Ronnie Jones is heading to Toledo. Plays a lot in the backfield. DeMar Hamlin had an interception in this game in the first week last year. This is a really athletic group in that defensive secondary. And a good play by Braxton Swan to pick off Levi Matheny there. And a couple of Bethel Park Blackhawks still remain down on this football field.
And Derek able to get up and walk off, although gingerly back to the near sideline under his own power. Still a Hawk down inside the 5, down near the far pylon being tended to. It's Brendan Todd. He's going to get up and walk off after having his cramps stretched out.
A lot of sore bodies tomorrow.
1st and goal, mark the football at the 4-yard line for the Vikings. Looking to put this one away with 1:17 to play in regulation. And we get some fresh bodies out here now for Bethel Park. This would be a lot of JV kids coming out here. Trying to stop Central Catholic from punching one in.
I think we're going to see the victory formation here.
Yep.
It's the right time for it.
Still 3 timeouts in Jeff Matheny's pocket. You wonder, not obviously to take them now, but maybe at some point earlier in the contest.
Really nice initial game for Troy Fisher. The sophomore, I thought, acquitted himself very, very well. Not flashy numbers, big numbers by any stretch of the imagination. I thought he ran the offense very well. I thought he looked very poised throughout the course of this game. Goes on the road, wins a big game against what I think will be a very good Bethel Park team.
Too. Yeah, I think both of these teams, not just playoff teams, I think both of these teams contenders to make deep, deep runs into the postseason, as Fisher will take a knee for the 2nd time. He'll have to do it once more. Well, maybe not. Depends on when they set this. He will not have to do it once more. That's going to do it. They'll run off the final 23 seconds. Final score, Bethel Park wins it 28-12. The Hawks, you talked about Fisher acquitting himself. I think Bethel Park acquitted themselves very well as well. We'll talk about that when we come back for the postgame show. You're listening to WPIAL Football 2015, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at msasports.net.
Back at Blackhawk Stadium one final time for Week 1 alongside Steve Nagler. 28-12 Central Catholic over Bethel Park in a rematch of Week 1 from last year. And a very, very different football game, but in the end, the same result. Central Catholic starts off 1-0, Bethel Park 0-1 after a very hot night at Blackhawk Stadium here in the South Hills.
Yeah, let's quickly take a look at how the scoring went down. Only one touchdown in the first quarter. Central Catholic was able to get on the board first at the 3:45 mark of this football game. In the first quarter, it was a 91-yard touchdown run for Ronnie Jones. Ronnie Jones was not part of the first drive, but came in on that second drive, or actually the third drive of this football game. The first time we had seen him back in the backfield. His second carry of the evening, he takes it the distance from 91 yards out. Extra point is good, and late in the first quarter, Central Catholic had a 7-0 lead, but a few possessions later, Bethel Park would get on the board. 2:55 to go in the first half. It was a one-play, 29-yard drive after a deflected punt. Central Catholic punt gave Bethel Park the excellent field position, the ball on the 29-yard line. The first play from scrimmage in that drive, Levi Matheny finds Jake Dixon, who breaks a tackle, able to stay on his feet and go the distance. 29-yard pass and catch. Extra point was wide right, and Central Catholic had a 7-6 lead at the half. No scoring in the third quarter, but quite a bit of scoring in the fourth quarter. Central Catholic got on the board at the 10:32 mark of the fourth quarter. A 23-yard pitch and catch from Troy Fisher to Ronnie Jones. Extra point was good, 14-6 with 10:32 to go. Bethel Park would respond right away, literally a touchdown within a minute and 25 seconds of the Ron Jones catch in the end zone. Taryn Murphy was able to get into the end zone from 13 yards out, a 13-yard run. They went for 2 points at the time. It did not, they were not able to connect, and Bethel Park trailed 14-12. Central Catholic able to score literally about 9 seconds later, as on the ensuing kickoff, Ronnie Jones takes the ball 85 yards, breaks a couple of tackles, and scores his third touchdown of the evening. He had a touchdown run, a touchdown catch, and a touchdown receiving, or on a kickoff return. At 8:51 to go, extra point was good. 21-12, Central Catholic had the lead, and then they would salt it away with a final touchdown with 3:25 to go. Vinny Emanuel, who was just a beast on that final drive, scores from 28 yards out, extra point good. Your final score, Central Catholic 28, Bethel Park 12.
Impressive football game for both teams, and if we're going to say it again, we've said it several times, these are both going to be teams to be reckoned with as we get for them, regular season underway next week. Quick look at some numbers from Chris Siebert.
Yeah, Central Catholic gains Bethel Park 360 yards to 211. Really impressive evening of offense eventually for Central Catholic. It didn't get rolling really until the second half, but their last three drives were extremely impressive. Leading the way for the Vikings was Troy Fisher, and through the air he had 6 completions and 15 attempts for 65 yards and the touchdown. On the ground, they had a couple of 100-yard rushers. Ronnie Jones, 12 carries, 139 yards, and that long 91-yard touchdown run. Vinny Emanuel had a great second half as he had 17 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown for the game, but 89 yards in the second half. Really impressive second half. For the Bethel Park Blackhawks, Levi Matheny, 12 of 26 through the air, 141 yards, a touchdown and INT. And Taryn Murphy was the leading rusher, 15 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Great job by Steve. Great job also by Jess Levo on the video end of things. Keep in mind this will be uploaded on YouTube at the MSA Sports channel. You can probably, I'm guessing Sunday or Monday, you can check it out and see how Jess did with her videoing. Thanks to Chris Siebert for all of his help with the statistics on the evening. Always our special thanks to Amy Schoenman, the athletic director here at Bethel Park, one of the best in the business. For Bethel Park next week, they'll kick off Southeastern Conference play on the road at the Wolverina, taking on Woodland Hills. And Central Catholic will kick off Northern 8 Conference play next Friday night at Highmark Stadium down at Station Square. They take on the Shaler Titans, Steve Nagler, and that's not going to be a pleasant night for the Shaler Titans. Now with a 33-game losing streak, the 5th longest losing streak in the history of the WPIAL.
How'd you like to be Shaler and start out Pine Richland and then Central Catholic?
Well, really, you look at Bethel Park as well, and it was Upper St. Clair last check on top of Penn Hills, 10-0. Bethel Park, and we talked about it a lot last year, but I think the Hawks a better football team this year going into this 3-game stretch. They open Central, Woody High, Upper St. Clair, so no breathers when you get going here. But a good test, I think, for Bethel Park to find out where they're at, and weirdly, going to be a very confident Bethel Park team moving forward.
Yeah, they played, I think, a solid game tonight. Far different than the way they came out in the 2014 season. They were able to move the football really in the first half at ease sometimes. They really ripped off some nice gains. Second half, they were outmanned a little bit. They really struggled.
You talk about fatigue and numbers. It became a numbers game, especially there in that fourth quarter for Central, as we kind of felt coming into this game, the sky's the limit as the sophomore Fisher, a splendid first game, but as he continues to develop, and they're really going to be a team, obviously, that has a chance to end up at Heinz Field and possibly at Hershey.
Yeah, again, 2 years in a row. They won 2 years ago. They lost last year. There's nothing that leads me to believe that they won't be back at Heinz Field once again when all the dust settles.
That'll do it for us. I'm going to head to the studio. Don't forget the Roundtable and the Scoreboard Show coming up on the network here just a couple of clicks away. Joined on Rebel Bob Workwith and myself, and really a cast from all around the WPIAL with scores and highlights throughout the evening. For Steve Nagler and Jess Levo, I'm Sam Hall saying thanks for listening. We'll see you next Friday night right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
You have been listening to WPIAL Football 2015 at MSASports.net, sponsored in part by First Commonwealth Bank, by Carlow University, by Pro Grass, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Dunkin' Donuts, by Grove City College, by Dollar Bank, by Erie Insurance and the Charles M. Mills Insurance Agency, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the 2015 WPIAL football season and all of the high school football fall sports by logging on every day to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.